That's it.
So what's up?
Well, you went biking today?
Yeah, I went biking today. So I just rode to my uncle's house because I need to get my gear shifter fixed.
Uh-huh.
And so we go to this person's house, and he's working on my bike, and his wife comes out, and she's a medium.
A medium?
Yeah, she said that I had a ghost behind me.
What?
Yeah.
Well, now, do you believe in that stuff, or?
I don't know if I believe in it or not.
Well, did you believe there was a ghost behind you, or?
I mean, everyone else was convinced. I was kind of like...
Even your granddad was?
I mean, my uncle, yeah.
Oh, your uncle?
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what happened. She said it was a dark-skinned man with a white dress shirt and dark dress pants with his arms folded behind me.
Yikes.
He said he was a humorous, well-looking guy.
Well, there's those people that have I forget what it's called, but they could see like a colored aura around people, and so like they might look at you and say you have a green aura or a purple one. That seems strange to me.
It does.
I don't know how mumbo jumbo that is.
Mm-hmm. I know back in the day I had my aura read by not a person, it was like by a machine in a mall or something.
Oh, was it like what is the movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh, yeah, like the Zoltar?
Yeah.
I've actually gone to the Zoltar twice.
Where's it at?
There's two of them in Vegas. One on the Strip and one in the Area 51 or 15 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got one in Area 51.
Yeah, Area 51, like you've been there.
Yeah.
You were there when they did the whole meme.
No.
We're all going to storm Area 51.
I was against it.
You were against it. Why?
Because people could have got killed.
And?
I mean, I guess it's on them, but...
Like, if they choose to do so and they get killed, it's kind of... I mean, they know what's going to happen if they cross.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that one guy. I saw it today because Queen Elizabeth had just recently passed. And he, I guess he walked up... Because it doesn't show the whole video of what happened. But I guess he went to go touch her casket. And he's not one of the people who's relegated to do so. He was just one of the people... Because they have it where you can go see the casket and everything, right? And I guess he went to go and touch it, and he just gets tackled by police straight down.
Jeez.
Yeah, I guess they don't play around with that kind of stuff.
What is he going to do to a dead body?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do to a dead body.
Yeah.
But, she's royalty, majesty, and all that kind of junk. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Because you got some people that are like, oh no, the queen has died. Everything is coming to an end. And then you have other people like, fucking finally.
Did you hear that about that thing the other day? Some rich guy said he's going to be the first man to live forever.
No, I did not hear that. Who is he?
I think he's like the co-founder of PayPal or something.
PayPal? Let's see. Let's Google it.
It could be wrong, though. I don't know.
Well, if I got his name, you would know it.
Maybe.
Peter Thiel?
Maybe.
Max Levchin, Ken Howery, Luke Nosek, and Yu Pan.
I think it's probably the first guy.
Peter Thiel.
That sounds most like it, I think.
Okay.
Man says he's going to live forever.
Founder Peter Thiel. PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel, meanwhile, had pledged to fight death, and last year it was reported Amazon chairman Jeff Bezos had invested in Altos Labs, a company that plans to rejuvenate cells in order to reverse disease.
That's probably it.
Yes, yeah, Peter Thiel, that was the guy.
That's pretty crazy.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think death is supposed to be a natural process of life, and it's something that we all have to go through in order to live a fulfilling life. Like, if you never die, what's the point of living? Yeah. And I know it sounds strange because no one inherently wants to die. But, you come here to be creative, do all the crazy things that you can do on planet Earth, and then when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Because it's the next generation's turn to do whatever crazy stuff they're going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's also like the samurai thing. Like death gives life purpose or something.
Yeah.
Do you think you get reincarnated, though?
I want to, but I'm not too sure about it. Because, like, you have some people that say, oh, well, I'm going to get reincarnated into a dog or something like that. And I don't know, if it works like if you get reincarnated back into a human, an animal, maybe like a tree, and you just don't know about it or something, because as far as we know, they're not sentient. But I want to believe in it.
Yeah.
In a way, because it's like, after death, what is after this? Are we just here to be human, and then that's it for the rest of eternity? Or do I eventually come back? I'm not saying, like right as soon as I die, my soul or whatever gets transported into another human that's just being born.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe it's thousands of years from now. Because who knows, maybe I'm reincarnated from some dude back in like 1500.
Yeah.
I
was thinking about that recently, though, about reincarnation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what makes a person, right? So if you come back as somebody, you're not going to come back as yourself. You're going to come back as something else.
Or, I guess, yeah. But in what way? Like, you think that you just come back as another human or another life form?
But, I think, so reincarnation, I think it could happen, but you have to forget who you are or something, or because, your upbringing and the things that make you you,
mm-hmm.
that's not going to be in the other person's life, or they might, but...
But isn't, your soul what makes you you, and then everything around you just forms you into a human, I guess? Like, you have your soul,
mm-hmm.
and then you have your, I guess, earthliness, and the things around you on Earth is what shapes you into a human, but your soul is something that you just are, that nothing else can change.
I guess it could be that. I wasn't really 100% sure, but just, I guess, when I think about me, I think about, my life and all the things I've done and all the things I haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
So it means, if I came back, all those things would have gone away, so I'd be someone else because I wouldn't have done the same things.
Well, one guy I used to talk to, he used to tell me, he believes that you're supposed to be at the end of your life when it comes to, you're on your deathbed or, wherever you are during death. You're supposed to be happy with who you are, because if you're not, you're going to be reincarnated back on Earth, and then you have to keep redoing this until you learn your lesson,
mm-hmm.
whatever that lesson is. And then once you learn it, whoever you are in that point in time, you ascend to a higher power. Not necessarily you're still human, but your soul.
Yeah, like Nirvana or something.
Yeah, it goes to a different plane. You get to, I guess, live the rest of eternity as you were right then and there.
Do you think you've learned that lesson?
See, I don't know, because I'm constantly learning lessons every day,
mm-hmm.
And so, if there is an end lesson, end goal to all of this, I still don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I may never know, even on my deathbed,
mm-hmm.
Learning all these little things, and then all those little things can domino into learning one big thing,
Mm-hmm.
But once it's learned and I'm still alive living here, is that the lesson I needed to learn?
Yeah.
Or is what the lesson I'm going to learn that I need to learn going to be near around my death?
I don't know.
Because what if the lesson of life is you just have to deal with death?
That's why I don't know. I guess they say mushrooms up with.
Well, that's what a lot of people say. Drugs like LSD, mushrooms, you have at least an ego death. But I've heard a lot of people say that LSD, they believe that's what death is, and then you're just reborn again. But what if you're reborn? So what if I existed during Roman times, exactly as I look, exactly my personality and everything, just not with technology and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just the same person back then, and I just keep getting plopped into different timelines.
Yeah. It could happen. It seems unlikely, though.
Well, sometimes, with, when me and you met,
mm-hmm.
I know it was in high school. I want to say I was a sophomore or a freshman. I don't really remember.
Yeah, I think you're probably a freshman. I think in junior year, I think I met you.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is meant to happen. You're meant to meet all the people you're going to meet in your life for some reason. one way or another. You know, like me and you, we've had a friendship now for 10 years, just about.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then some people that I was like real good friends with in high school, I have no idea where they are, what's happening to them.
Yeah, life is just weird. You think it all makes sense at the end?
I think it makes sense now in the point that if you understand that life is never supposed to make sense, you know? Because, like, you know, if something happens to you and you're like, that doesn't even, my brain can't even comprehend it.
Yeah.
You know? And I think as long as you stick with that mindset with everything, it all just falls into place. Even though you, as a human, can't comprehend it, understand it, or anything, it's just how the world works, and you have to just go with the flow. Because I feel like if you go against the grain of whatever the world throws at you, it is when people start living bad lives. You know? And if you overthink things too much, that's when you make bad decisions and everything. Because eventually you're just tired of overthinking and you go, that decision, whatever. You go with the flow of life. I think life gives back. It's like a give and take wave of the ocean. When the wave crashes on the beach, it takes some sand with it.
Yeah.
You know, but it brings some life with it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either. You know, I've tried doing the whole Taoist thing, just going with the flow, but it always feels like I'm going against it when I go with it.
In what way?
I don't know, like, I'll just be relaxed or whatever, and then aggression comes towards me. Like,
from where?
Just like the world in general.
What do you think that has to do with maybe it happened once, right? And you didn't realize why it was happening. And then when you tried it again, it happened again. But because that time you were thinking, oh, it might happen this time, so I have to be on guard for it. And so the world threw it at you as like a challenge to see if like you're going to, I don't know, crawl up or defend against it. That's how I sometimes think the world is. Like, it throws little challenges at you to see how you're going to react. And depending on how you react is how the next challenge goes and that one after that.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was I thinking? Do you think so if like say the world throws a whole bunch of challenges at you, should you just take them or just like, you know, tense up?
Well, it always depends on what the challenge is. You know, it could be something as simple as like learning to drive a car. That could be the challenge and debacle you're in right now. And, you know, depending on who you have around you and everything can totally change how that whole thing is handled. If you got someone yelling at you while you're trying to learn how to drive, chances are you're not going to learn how to drive very well.
Yeah.
But if you have someone who's nice, calm, even when you mess up, they're calm and they just say, calm down, breathe, try it again, chances are you're going to learn how to drive pretty well. So it depends on a whole bunch of factors. What the challenge is somebody there to help you with the challenge? Can they even help you with the challenge? Because you could have everyone in the world trying to help you with a challenge, but if it's something only based within yourself, no one can really help you with that at the end of the day. You know, you can go to therapy and all that kind of stuff and talk it through with someone. At the end of the day, you're the only one that can really deal with it.
Yeah. Do you think there's a way to make yourself the best person besides immortality?
I don't think immortality will make you. I think it will make you a worse off person. I truly believe it.
I agree.
I think to make yourself the best person is whenever a challenge is presented to you, you face it head on. You know, and I don't mean you just jump into it willy-nilly. You come up with a plan and you try and go through it as best as you can. And if it doesn't work at first, you stop, leave it be if you can, and then go at it again. So, like, I've been having trouble building this stupid cabinet that I got from Amazon, right?
Yeah.
It has like 10 million pieces,
Oh, geez.
right? And so you have a piece that you have to stand it up, and 3 shelves get put in on one side, and 2 get put on the other, right? But they don't want to stay in when you flip it on its side so you can do all that. It all falls apart, right?
Yeah.
So every time I try and put it together, I get frustrated. And it keeps getting quicker and quicker and quicker because I'm just over the whole thing. So I leave. I come back. I try and fix it. It doesn't work. So today, I got a refund for it.
Yeah.
I swear, it has like 10 million pieces. It is insane. And the screws don't fit right. The screws literally just fall out.
Jeez. What did it look like? Was it just like a normal dresser?
No, it's supposed to be like a little kitchen thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that like faux wood wallpaper all over it, you know?
Yeah.
And so on top of it is just like a shelf that you can put things on. And we were going to put like the blender and stuff on it. And then in the middle, it has a slot for the microwave. So that way that takes that off something else. And then it has side door and bottom doors for like dishes and stuff, you know, glasses and everything. Just to, you know, make our kitchen a little more cleaner. Mm-hmm. So speaking of Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true. I can Google it real quick. Mm-hmm. But I believe Amazon acquired the Roomba, the little self-vacuuming things.
Yeah.
And so people are saying it's one of the worst things to ever happen. Because now they can map out your home.
Oh, jeez.
And I guess they can put just like a little tracker or a camera or something on it. And they can just watch you and all that kind of... I know they're already doing it with Alexa and all that. They're listening at least. And the same thing with our phones and all that. They're listening. Mm-hmm. But that's just like an even crazier invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need to know...
the floor plans to my house?
Right? So this is my theory on it, right? Mm-hmm. So because of like cryptocurrency, NFTs and everything, people are trying to get on in the next big thing in the digital space of buying things, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you've heard of it. You can like sell the online rights to your house when you sell your house.
The online rights to your house?
Okay. So you know, like, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. Mm-hmm. His metaverse and everything. Uh-huh. Apparently, you're supposed to be able to buy property in the metaverse, right? So if you can't own a house in the real world, you can own one online using real world money.
That's stupid.
So, like, the house that... this house, right, that we're in right now, if I wanted to sell it, I could also sell along the digital online rights to the house. So the person owns it in real life and in the metaverse. And so I think they need the plans of the home. So when they go to digitize it, it'll just be easy. They can say the walls here, here's the kitchen, here's the living room, here's this and that. That's my theory.
That's creepy.
It is creepy. It is very creepy.
So you can own your house, but someone can own, like, the digital phantom of your house.
Yeah, so, like, I'm not sure how extensive it is, because, you know, I don't care about that kind of stuff. I think it's stupid anyway. Yeah. But I'm not sure if we technically own the rights to our online house, I guess. Or if, like, the bank does, or maybe somebody else has already bought it, and I don't know about it yet.
Who would buy online rights to a house?
People who don't like the real world. Like, think about it. If you legitimately hate your life and you could have a better life online in a Matrix-like world called the metaverse.
Yeah. Well, you gotta exist in the real world, though.
Well, it depends on how they do it, right? Because right now, the metaverse, as far as I know, is taking real money. So you have to use, like, your credit card, bank account, whatever, to pay for stuff inside of it, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe eventually, you know, you'll be working a job inside the metaverse as a barista in the metaverse Starbucks, giving coffee to somebody else.
A virtual coffee?
Yeah, a virtual coffee. Well, we don't know how extensive it's going to get. You know, for all we know, you may be serving them a virtual coffee. And that person you're serving to is, you know, maybe you're in California and they're in Florida, right? And you're serving them a virtual coffee and it just looks like you're serving them. But on the other end, their computer or their Oculus is hooked up to their coffee machine that actually makes them coffee. And they just want some kind of interaction. We don't, you know, it could be crazy how far this shit will go.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll ever get to the point where it's actually like the Matrix?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either.
I think that'd be horrible for society.
Yeah.
Because, like, look now, the phones and everything, especially kids nowadays with their phones and everything, they'll be sitting in the same room texting each other.
Yeah.
And not even looking each other in the eyes and talking and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's one of the worst things that could happen is anything close to the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the metaverse just sucks so much that Mark Zuckerberg will give up on it and move on and go back to Facebook.
Yeah.
And listening to me and, giving me ads of things I talk about and everything.
Mm-hmm. So here's one thing I was thinking about. So, like, you know how society kind of is, like, progressing towards, like, I don't know, like, what's the word for, like, where you sit in one spot all the time?
Stagnation?
Yeah, like stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe people were supposed to live like the cavemen did, like in like nomadic.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, me living in this house, sure, it's nice, but I feel like, you miss out on a lot by not constantly
taking in new stuff.
Yeah. And I guess you do via the internet, but it's not the same as, like, standing there, being there. Mm-hmm. Like, you can look up pictures of, like, the stratosphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but unless you see it.
It's different when you're standing on it, looking down and everything.
Yeah. That's like when I took that trip to Oregon. It's like I looked up pictures, but when you actually go there and you see it, it's totally different.
Yeah, it's eye-opening.
It's real.
Like, our, stupid monkey brains want to see actual new stuff all the time. Because, like, with the stagnation thing, right? If you're not at least being creative and stuff like that, you're going to stagnate, right? Because most people do not travel the world. There's a very minute few people who get the chance to do that.
Yeah, super rich people.
Or YouTubers.
Yeah.
But they get to do it, and normal people like me and you, we're stuck in a desert.
The worst.
Where we get... Well, I love the desert. I don't think I want to move outside of the desert, to be honest with you. Because, like, what kind of bad weather we get? We get monsoon, which can be bad. But for the most part, it hasn't been bad for, like, the past few years. We get the very rare earthquake. Like, if we do get it, you barely even feel it.
Yeah.
We get windstorms. They happen rarely, too. What else do we get?
9 months of summer.
I don't know about that. Fall and spring, they do feel not as hot as summer.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, like, for me, right, we don't have to worry about tsunamis or tornadoes or, crazy weather. Blizzards, we don't have to worry about blizzards. Like, every bit of the United States, they can keep it. Yeah. Do not bring it here. I will stay in the desert and be happy.
And hot.
And hot. Yes, very, very hot. Because we had, it was either last week or the week before, we hit like 115.
Yeah, for like the whole week.
Yeah. And apparently next year it's supposed to get worse. I think they hit a new record in
Death Valley. I know the old one was like 134 or something.
Here, let's see real quick. Record in Death Valley. So, Oregon would be the place for you then.
Yeah, somewhere north.
California's Death Valley records temperature of 127 degrees Fahrenheit during heat wave on Thursday, September 1st, 2022.
Oh, 24?
27. 127.
20. I don't know where I heard the 134 thing.
Maybe your brain just was like, yeah, just say 134.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's all the same.
It's hot. Who cares?
What's the boiling point of water?
Let's see. Why, are you afraid the earth is going to start boiling soon?
Boiling people, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that would happen, huh?
At least 70% of us.
That would be a scary thought. 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we're only 80 degrees off.
Pretty much.
So that's something to look
do you think the earth will ever get that hot?
Possibly.
You really think so?
I think so.
What I think will happen is like if we keep going in the direction we're going, so like you know how we've been having like strange phenomenon in weather,
Mm-hmm.
like down in Texas, how they had that huge once in 100-year storm and
Mm-hmm.
everything. If that doesn't keep happening, we just keep going in the direction of the Earth is getting hotter and hotter and hotter every single year.
Yeah.
I believe humans will eventually be living underground.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I'm not surprised that there isn't like some billionaire or something already trying to, corner that market of, hey, here's an underground home for $500 million.
So I was actually watching Doomsday Preppers one time with my brother, and there's a guy who has an underground RV park.
I saw one of the Doomsday Prepper ones, and he had it was underground school buses that he had done. But I believe he was in Canada, and after he did the show, the Canadian government tore down everything he built.
Jeez.
With his own money and everything.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah. Like, there's a couple on YouTube. They're building the earthback houses and everything. And they have an underground portion and an above ground portion. And the above ground portion, and they're in the middle of the Arizona desert, right? And I'm middle. I think the nearest town's like 2-3 hours away, something like that. So for them, the overground portion, I think, stays at like 75 degrees, which isn't bad. And then the underground portion, which is their bedroom, it stays at like 68 degrees year round.
That's nice.
Like, that's why I'm surprised, like, Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or name any other rich person isn't trying to corner that market of underground homes. Because everyone, at least our generation, I feel like, is worried about rising temperature levels and all that kind of stuff.
I'm pretty sure they'll get on that market soon.
It's not like we could afford it anyway. We'd probably just be renting from them.
Yeah.
Which would suck. You finally get to the precipice of where you can buy a house, and now it's too hot to live on the surface of the earth. So you have to rent underground. You still own the above ground portion, but you're going to boil if you stay up there.
Have you heard about the tunnels underneath the United States?
You were telling me about that the other day. I haven't personally seen anything about it.
I've only seen the crazy YouTube videos.
So are they all connected?
I don't know.
Or
I think that, like, some of them are connected, but I think it's just like by state or something. I don't know.
wouldn't that be crazy if you could walk all the way from like Maine to California?
That would be awesome.
Just taking one pipeline all the way through.
Underground. No sunlight for how long it would take.
I wonder how long a human can stay in like pure darkness, or at least I guess without sunlight. Like how long they can go without sunlight before they die.
I don't know. Probably not too long.
If you had to take a guess.
I'd guess maybe, like, if they have flashlights and stuff, maybe a year.
Like I would assume, like, if they're underground, they have flashlights, lanterns, campfires, all that kind of stuff. There's just no like
Natural light.
Because I don't know, does UV penetrate below Earth's surface?
I don't think so.
Because if it doesn't, then you're getting zero UV rays. Let's see, how long can a human?
Maybe they're smart though, and they bring like heat lamps and artificial UV.
But isn't artificial UV still bad for you? Like it's just like it's good for you, but not as good as the natural UV rays that we get from the sun.
That'd be weird though.
How long can a human live in? No, that's outer space. I don't even know outer space.
It's pitch dark up there.
I guess no one has ever answered this question. Maybe I should just put sunlight.
Oh, since we're talking about the underground, have you ever heard of Agartha?
Agartha?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
So there's this conspiracy or something like that about the hollow earth. And there's like people that are similar to humans, but not quite humans that live down there.
Oh, so like mole people?
Yeah, I don't know if they're mole people. I think they're just like aliens or something.
Aliens?
I don't know if they're aliens or not. I don't know what they are. But they look like people, but they're not people.
So they have pictures of them? Or they just have like crude drawings or something?
Yeah, probably like caveman crude drawings.
Okay, let's see. How long can you go without sun? This means 2 months. Temperature. A human would die within just a few weeks, it says.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. How do you spell Agartha?
Agartha, I think.
Agartha. Let's see. Gartha, sometimes Argardi, Agarath. Oh wow, it's got a bunch of names. Is a legendary kingdom that is said to be located in the Earth's core. Yeah, so mole people. Wouldn't that be crazy if we have to move underground
And we meet them?
and then we as a human species, like what if aliens aren't from outer space but they're within Earth's core? And then we have to like have a war against them because they're like, you can't come down here. This is our planet, I guess they would say. I don't know what they would say.
Yeah. This is our Earth.
It is related to the belief in a hollow Earth and is a popular subject of esotericism. Well, do you believe the Earth is hollow?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm pretty sure there's like some hollow spots, but...
Because for me, right, I was reading this thing, right, that like, you remember how we learned in school you have the Earth crust and then the mantle and then...
The core.
Is that all? It's just those three, right?
Or like the inner and outer mantle, right?
Yeah, and then you remember all that though, right?
Yeah.
Apparently that's just a theory. I was taught that like it was fact.
Same.
Apparently it's just a theory. We don't even know what's in the middle of Earth. Because so it's like for all we know, it could just be, you know, like crust, lava, mantle, hollow.
What's the longest anyone's ever dug down?
We can find that out. Let's see. So how far have humans dug in Earth? Drilled into Earth. Perfect. The deepest hole by far is one on Kola Peninsula in Russia near, oh, I'm going to butcher this, Murmansk, referred to the Kola well. It was drilled for research purposes beginning in 1970. After 5 years, the Kola well had reached 7 kilometers, about 23,000 feet.
So we can assume that the first 23,000 feet...
There's no mole people there.
Yeah.
Not 23,000 feet down.
Yeah, so you have to dig at least 5 more feet.
Can you imagine, though, like, they're just drilling and drilling, or maybe they're, like, doing, what if the oil that we drill is just their feces?
Could be.
And we just run off mole people feces.
Well, it's supposed to be dinosaur bones, right?
Well, that's what they call it. Fossil fuels. But is it, like, what is fossil fuels?
Just oil, I guess.
I really learned a lot in school, huh? The American education system. Fossil fuels are made from decomposing plants and animals. These fuels are found in the Earth's crust and contain carbon and hydrogen, which can be burned for energy. Coal, oil, and natural gas are examples of fossil fuels. So there you go. Plants and animals, so not just dinosaur bones.
So animal bones. I mean, plant bones.
Plant bones.
Yeah. You know, like when you dig down and like they show the different layers of the soil and all that, and there's like a time capsule kind of.
Yeah.
I wonder if you dug all the way down, what kind of stuff would you see?
Well, how far down are you talking?
Like all the way to the core.
Why stop at the core one? I just go all the way through the Earth. If you can.
Go all the way through the Earth if you can.
I mean, who knows? So sometimes I wonder, like, so you know how they do, not architecture, archaeology, archaeology excavations, right? And so like, they'll dig down, you know, maybe like a few hundred feet, and they find like a whole kingdom that used to exist. Like, it's hard to tell what everything was because the buildings are kind of dismantled and everything, but you can kind of put the pieces together and everything. I wonder if like every like few thousand years of Earth, like maybe Earth started as a marble, right? This is just a theory. And maybe it started as a marble, and whatever was living on it was, you know, of course, smaller than that, very smaller than that,
Like an ant.
and then just over the years, Earth dust or whatever just plowed into it and made it bigger and bigger and bigger. And as we keep growing and everything, like eventually, like a few thousand years from now, our society will just be covered in dirt, and a new one will be compounded on top of that. And the Earth is just then bigger then.
That makes me think. So, like, you know how you're saying, what if the Earth was the size of a marble and the people that lived on it were relative to the size, right? And you know they find those giant bones or whatever. So what if the Earth was super big at one time? And they were relative to the Earth's size?
I mean, so you're saying we're shrinking
Well, the
or
Earth shrunk sometime,
potentially?
so the Earth must have lost some
Well,
weight
because
somewhere.
well, that's interesting because aren't dinosaurs weren't they really big because there was more oxygen on Earth?
Yeah, I think so.
So what if that is the case? Maybe Earth was bigger and we're shrinking. Maybe as the universe expands, we shrink and not expand along with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's interesting. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, Earth is relative to the size of the universe.
Well, everything's relative to the size of something, right?
Yeah.
So eventually, I guess. So if the universe is constantly expanding, and well, is the Earth constantly expanding?
I think it stays the same size. I think, but
So if it is stays the same size relatively to the universe, we are shrinking because it is forever expanding.
yeah.
So if you could stay alive, or let's say be reincarnated to the point where
It was me again,
yeah, it's all you,
like a clone.
just as you are. No, not even a clone. You as you are sitting in front of me right now, right?
Yeah.
But you get dropped into a point in time where Earth in the Milky Way galaxy is about to collide with another galaxy, like within, let's say, a few years. Like scientists know for a fact they're about to collide. What would you do?
I would just keep on living and see what happens after the collision.
Well, would you live the same way you're living now, or would you completely just say, "Screw it, I'm gonna go do whatever I want"?
Well, I don't know what happens when galaxies collide. So it's probably not dangerous, is it?
I think it is dangerous
It
because you
is?
have the gravitational pull of each galaxy then colliding into each other, and then all the galaxies of whatever stars and planets are within the respective galaxies just being slung around. So, for example, like we might crash into a planet or a star, or we might just get sent off into space away from the sun to where you no longer can live on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just do what I was doing now.
So you're telling me if that was happening, you would still wake up, go to work, come home, relax, repeat.
Well, maybe I wouldn't go to work. I mean, like, what's paint the scene? What's the people on TV saying? Like, oh my God, this is the end.
I mean, have you seen the movie
2012?
not 2012. It has Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and
Oh, Don't Look Up?
yeah, Don't Look Up. Picture that, but instead of they're saying Don't Look Up, they're basically just saying, yeah, the Milky Way galaxy is about to collide into the Andromeda galaxy, and we're basically all screwed.
I guess there's nothing I could really do.
Right, there's nothing you could do about the situation, right? So what would you do with whatever time you have left?
I guess I'll just hang out with the ones I love, I guess.
Have you seen the movie Don't Look Up?
I haven't seen it.
Do you ever plan on seeing it? Because I don't want to spoil it if you do.
I mean, I've seen the end and the middle, but I want to see it, but
So you've seen the end. So you know what happens at the end.
kind of.
Okay, so I won't spoil it.
Okay.
I won't spoil it then. If you're actually gonna sit down and watch it someday, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
for
so someday.
you. 20 years from now, when the Milky Way galaxy is about to crash into Andromeda, oh, I think I should watch Don't Look Up now.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about this thing when I'm on my bike rides, right? So I saw this quote that you put on your Goodreads by one of those Greek philosophers saying something about God or whatever. So what my idea was, what if God is unconscious?
So are you talking about God just in general, or are you talking about Christianity?
Oh, just the one spiritual energy or whatever that made life in the universe or whatever.
So if he's unconscious and we're conscious, that would just be kind of I hate to bring it up again, but the Matrix, where you're basically just seeing something through something else's eyes.
Maybe.
The book I'm reading right now, the what is it called?
The what, Eastern Theory?
The Life and Teachings of the Masters from the Far East. That one. So I'm only, 50, 60 pages into the first book, and there's 6 of them. So it's 800 pages in total or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're talking about how there's these 3 masters, and their names were They don't use their real names because they want to keep it secret, I guess. But Emil, Chepro, and one that starts with an N, Nestro, or something like that. And these are the masters that they basically follow throughout their entire journey in India. I think it's in India where they're at. And they talk about how basically God exists, but he doesn't because it's you.
Oh, that's like a Mahayana Buddhism or whatever.
Oh, it's the same thing?
Kind of. Like that book I gave you about with that by Alan Watts or whatever.
Oh, I haven't read it yet.
Oh.
So I'll have to read it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So basically what they were saying is... like in the way he describes it is like they can make bread just appear, and it not just one loaf. If they need 20 loaves, it just appears. If they need to walk on water to get across to get to wherever they're going, they just walk across. If they need to heal somebody, they just heal them perfectly. No more disease, or if they lost an arm, it just rejuvenates perfectly, right? And so what they were saying is you just have to believe that 1, there is a God. 2, you are the God, but you're also a part of God. So like me and you, we would be a part of the same God, but we're separate. Like, we're seeing things from different perspectives and everything.
Yeah.
So that way, God, whoever or whatever it is, can see all and know all.
Yeah, that's just like that book.
The only thing is I Googled the guy. I think his name is Baird Spalding or something like that, who wrote it. And a bunch of people online is like, man, this guy's a hack. There ain't no such thing as higher beings on this planet or anything. And I don't want to say if there is or there isn't, because I haven't actually seen anything, like how they explain in the book or anything like that. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it isn't possible.
Yeah.
Because where do all these, like mythology, you have Zeus. What is he, the god of lightning? For all we know, electricity could have existed somehow way back when, and he was just known as the guy who controls it.
Yeah.
And then throughout the years it becomes, oh, he's the god of lightning.
Just your normal electrician.
Isn't he also like the god of gods, or
he's
king of gods?
Yeah, king of the gods.
King of the gods. I don't know that much about mythology. I find it interesting, but when I try and read about it, it's just like I prefer to watch like a documentary or something. Yeah. It's just one of those things that I can't read about and get into it.
There are some good ones that you could read.
Like
the Odyssey.
Oh, I read the Odyssey in high school.
The Iliad.
Read it in high school.
What's the Metamorphosis?
Never even heard of it.
Oh, by Ovid or whatever?
Yeah, never heard of it.
Oh. It has this great, the myth of Orpheus and some lady's name. That's going to bother me.
You want me to look it up?
Yeah.
So, Orpheus?
Yeah, Orpheus and something.
Orpheus and
Euripides, right?
Eurydice?
Eurydice.
Eurydice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So the guy in that story, he goes through the tunnel. I think you've heard it before. Have you seen the Persephone thing?
Mm-mm.
Where Persephone goes to the underworld, Hades tells her she can't leave?
No.
It's about the changing of the seasons?
Mm-mm.
No? Oh. Well, you should read it.
They have this, we go to, what's it called? Barnes & Noble?
Yeah, same.
All the time, right? And they have this like real thick book, and it's just like Greek mythology in it. It has the Odyssey, the Iliad, and all that kind of stuff. I kind of want to get it, but the book is very daunting because of how big it is.
Maybe it's the same one that I have. Is it the one by Edith Hamilton or whatever?
I'd have to see it because it has like a...
It has like a Spartan helmet. It's all black with the gold gilding on it.
I'm trying to think now. I think
not. It just says mythology on it.
No, because it has like a really cool... It's like a Barnes & Noble exclusive book. And it has like a really cool, like... You remember like the holographic cards?
Yeah.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that kind of... It has kind of like that front on it. And it has like a bunch of like... You remember the beginning of Hercules? Where they're dancing on the pot and everything? It has art like that on it. But It's like a huge book. It's like that thick, like that big. It's huge. It's huge. I don't even know how many pages it is.
Yeah.
But you look at that book and you're just like, I don't even know if I want to pick it up.
It's a tome.
Yeah. But they have a lot of the Barnes & Noble exclusive books.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cool, and I want to get them all.
Yeah.
Because they just look so cool. And I do want to read some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them I don't, because they look cool, but it's just something I'm not interested in.
I know right now I go to Barnes & Noble's, and I'm obsessed with these, the Penguin Cloth-Bound Classics collection. They're just nice.
Mm-hmm.
They're classic books, so they're good.
They're cheaper, right? Because it's Penguin?
Yeah, it's like $25 a book.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but it's hardbound. It's cloth on top.
Because the ones on like Amazon, they're like $7 or something like that. Which I guess is why they're like Barnes and Noble is dying and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Barnes and Noble is pretty nice though.
I like the atmosphere of it all. You go in there, and it's like a library.
Yeah, but you buy the books.
But you buy the books.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like out here we have the one library, and it's got books from like 30, 40 years ago, and that's about it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. If we had a nice library, that'd be nice.
Well, nobody, out here is going to...
Read.
Well, not only read. They're not going to... Like, if me and you were to start, like, a campaign of, like, we want to build upon the existing library, or at least move it to another location where it's in a bigger building, more books, and more activities for kids and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one out here would donate to that.
Oh, no.
We live in a 65-plus place. They're on their way out.
Maybe we make activities for them.
Like what?
Library in the nursing home. Reading hour.
They have that. They have like some education thing for the elderly out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can like substitute for it and all that kind of stuff. It's really weird.
See.
Come on now, you told me you had a bunch to talk about.
I know I did, but the second I sat down,
gone.
That seems to be the usual way things go.
Isn't that weird? So I read this one thing, like, when you're like, oh, I forgot my wallet. And then you open the door and you're like, why'd I come in here?
Yeah.
You know that?
Uh-huh.
Apparently that's like because you're going into a whole new space, your brain has to like reconfigure. Even though it's just a split second if you open the door. Your brain's just like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. Do you think we live in a simulation?
No. Why would this be a simulation?
I don't know.
And then why, like, if I'm in a simulation, that means you are either an NPC in my simulation or you're in your own simulation. Why would they need to know what goes on in everybody's lives all the time?
I don't know. That's what they're working on now.
Although I do believe that some people are NPCs just by the way they act.
Yeah.
Because you got some people, like, when an NPC glitches out in the game and they're just, like, doing something so weird, you're like, what is happening? And you see that in real life. Sometimes that makes me think, like, oh, yeah, we live in the Matrix and that person is just broken right now. Maybe a cable came undone or something.
Gotta plug them back in. That was actually a story idea that I was working on a long time ago, but I'm not anymore. It was about like the Matrix, right? Mm-hmm. But instead of like everybody's throwing away their bodies and they've uploaded themselves into the metaverse or whatever, and then there's one guy, the maintenance guy. That's God.
You should finish that.
And it wasn't good when I was writing it.
Well, it could be good now, can't it?
Maybe. It's sitting on a hard drive.
Well, I mean, I guess I do that too. Because I'll start something and then stop because I'm not interested in it anymore. Or it feels like the way it's progressing isn't...
natural.
I wouldn't even say natural. It's just like I'm going against the grain again, And I don't want to... Like, I'm the kind of person, I don't like going against the grain. I like going with the flow, no matter where I'm at. Or at least I try to. There's certain things that like I will go against the grain, but for the most part, I just kind of go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
If it's presented to me, I'm just like, all right, let's go.
So you said earlier that you implement a plan. Do you implement a plan while you're writing?
Well, like a plot, but that's about it. You know, I just try and follow. Like, I forget what it's called. I think it's called a pantser.
Yeah.
Somebody who just kind of goes
Writes by the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'll have a plot, but if I start writing and the direction I'm going and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do now, even though I have the plot right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
I either don't know how to get there or I don't want to go there anymore. And so I'll branch off
Mm-hmm.
of that plot completely. Or I'll add like a whole new plot point into it in between those two plot points that I'm trying to get to make it a almost seamless way of moving the story forward.
Mm-hmm. And when I write, I try to make that like the plot outline, but
there was this one YouTube video. I think her name is Jane Moretti or something like that. Let's see, The Sisters Survivor, I think is her books, and she has a whole YouTube channel where she does oh shoot, I'm not gonna be able to find it. It's like Jane Moretti or Jade Moretti, something like that.
mm-hmm.
And the first book I wrote, right, I just followed her video. I changed it up a bit, but she basically went how she does her plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said, some of these plot points, they can be put together, they can be separate, but I'm going to separate them so that way you understand each part of the plot. I just followed that, and I wrote my first book in like, I think it took me 3 months, something like that.
What was her outline? Was it like the hero's journey or something?
It wasn't. I think she has
Was it the 22 beat sheet or?
It's like, I guess it's her own.
Oh, see?
Jenna Moretti, the author of The Savior's Champion. That's what it is. But yeah, you look her up on YouTube or something. She has just a whole bunch of writing tips, like how to start your first chapter, how to title your book, or how not to title your book, and all that kind of stuff. And so I was just watching all her videos and stuff, and it really did help with the writing of the book, especially the plot. Like the way she laid out her plot worked so well for me.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Well, then when this episode comes out, I'll make sure to link it in the description. So that way anybody can just, bang, it's right there.
Yeah.
And it's 23 steps. And of course you can take stuff out, move it around however you feel.
Yeah.
I think I moved around 2 or 3 things, and that's about it. Otherwise I followed it straight on through.
And I still have to read the novel you sent me.
Which one?
The Apocalypse, Nevada.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The Taylor's Choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still reading it.
Have you read it at all?
I read the first page.
All right. How was the first page?
I mean,
be honest. Tear it to shreds.
It's been a minute since I read it.
Okay.
It seemed okay, though.
Just okay.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of work, but yeah, it seemed all right.
Well, it's my first time writing a book, you know?
And it's a rough draft.
Oh, it's rough. Because, like, the only time I'd get to write is when my son would take a nap.
Yeah.
That's the only time I got to write. So.
Do you believe there's, like, all the stories that are ever been told have been told already?
Well, you got to think about it, right? So, like, Star Wars, what is his name? Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
Right? Is the story of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I guess.
And the guy who wrote it,
George Lucas,
he's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Come on now, Luke. To me, if that's not it, then I'm an idiot. But it just seems too on the nose for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Luke Skywalker is basically the story of Jesus Christ, which that story has been told for how long now? You know, hundreds of thousands of years. And who knows, maybe there was stories of somebody else who was like Jesus Christ before Jesus Christ. So how long has that story been told? Maybe for all of time.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like every story has been told that is going to be told. but it's just different characters, slightly different situations and everything.
I don't know. I feel like that can't be true. I feel like
Why?
I don't know.
Well, it's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I've just read some crazy things that I feel like don't follow any structure at all.
Like what? Can you like one example off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Recently, just Kafka on the Shore. That feels like it's original.
Well, that's the one where it's 3 different stories.
Yeah.
So isn't it possible that those 3 stories have already been told, but now it's being told in a different way where all 3 are branching?
Possibly.
So therefore that story would have been told before, it just never branched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because it's almost like there's nothing original anymore
Yeah.
because of just human beings being around for so long. Because sometimes, you have like a great idea and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I'll have an idea and then I go and Google it. It already exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where that one book you were telling me comes into play, I think. How to Steal Like an Artist. I heard that's a real short book, like this thick or something.
It's something like that, yeah.
Let's see here. Man, that's crazy. All my thoughts just escaped me.
It's all good. We're here for however long. What, it's already been almost an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, time flies when we're doing this. Like when me and Isaiah were doing it, It's like a 3-hour podcast. And when we were done and finished with it, we were like, man, it's almost 3 hours. It felt like an hour around there. Like sitting here right now for me, I would say, if I didn't look, I would say we've probably been talking for 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah, same.
But it's been an hour since we started. Isn't that weird with time? Like, so I don't know what it is, but as I get older, it feels like time gets shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can remember being in like school, and it just seemed like one period in high school would take forever, even though it was only an hour.
45 minutes even.
Yeah, 45 minutes. And it was like, this class is never going to end.
Yeah, like years long.
Yeah. But then, like, I just, substituted for the high school and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The whole day was gone before I even knew it.
Yeah.
It's insane. And then, like...
It's different when you're in the other person's shoes, when you're the teacher in the classroom.
Yeah.
Because you have so much to do. Like, you're watching the kids and make sure they're not doing anything bad. And then, you have to make sure they're working on stuff. And when you're the kid, you're just like, man, when am I getting out of here?
When I went there, right, so I was just doing, like, the campus monitor stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like any kids were working
no.
when I looked inside the classroom. And I didn't realize, like, in every single class they're using laptops.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's that bad?
I mean, you have good classes, but then you have bad ones.
Yeah. Like I told you, when was it, yesterday that you guys came, or the day before?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. So, like, you could just tell which kids are the bad kids.
That's kind of 50-50.
I don't know, because some of them, you look at them and you're like, yeah, that's a bad kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably don't do their work and make disruptions during class and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really, to an extent, it's not their fault. Because they are still just kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably no one home when they go home because they're working, 2 jobs, 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Or in our case out here, they're probably doing drugs or drinking.
Yeah.
And so when they go home, no one's there to, discipline them, get to know them, teach them, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a whole bigger societal
problem.
thing. That will never be fixed. I believe it will never be fixed.
I don't think it'll ever be fixed either. That's kind of sad that people have to live like that, though.
Well, they don't have to. They don't.
I mean, the kids, though.
Here's the thing, right? Like, me as a parent, I do not want to live in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, right?
Yeah.
I would rather be on my own land, growing my own food, which, I'm kind of doing here. Mm-hmm. But we have debt with the house. If I could just buy land in full, it's mine, until the United States government takes it from me for whatever reason. But, you go out there, you make your own food. Because, like, really, what are you paying for? You're paying for a place to live, food, and hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, like, the three things people need to be happy.
Yeah.
Place to live, food and water, hobbies. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're paying for. And you don't have to pay for that. for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're out there and you have everything all set up on, like, a homestead, you have meat for months because it's just constantly regenerating by giving birth to new pigs or cows or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You have a garden, and depending on where you live, you can have a garden year-round. And then if you build your own place to live, like, sure, that's going to cost money, but not as much as having somebody else build your house, like a whole company doing it and everything. Sure, it's going to be more extensive work and everything, but at the end of it all, you have a house that you paid, 50% less on. You did it all yourself. You learned things from it. You have your free food and everything. What are you paying for then? Hobbies.
Yeah.
That's about it. Mm-hmm. And if it's a hobby like gardening,
that's that pays for itself.
It pays for itself, and you're feeding your family and everything, Mm-hmm. But if you have a hobby like doing a podcast like this, pretty much the only thing you pay for is mic stands, mic, recorder, computer, stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once that's paid for, only other thing you might have to pay for is like a website or something like that. Mm-hmm. And if you had like a little side business that made you like $100, $200, $300, it pays for the website.
Selling shirts or something.
Yeah, something. Like one guy I watch on YouTube, he lives in Arizona as well on his own homestead, and he just runs a tea business out of a little shack.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's just, he has the little grounded up tea leaves in like little bins, and then when somebody orders something, he packs it up, sends it off. Everybody could live like that.
Yeah.
But they don't want to.
I would like to.
They want to have, Starbucks right around the corner and a Chick-fil-A right across the street from that.
That the big commercial businesses stuff, that just makes a living life like a nightmare. Especially out here, like there's like one store you can go to, right? But imagine if there was like 20 you could go to.
So like a marketplace.
Yeah.
Well, like at the Tractor Supply out here, they have the what do you call it? It's not a food market. I forget what they call it.
The farmer's market?
Farmer's market. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Arve went up there. And it's so nice. They don't have everything you're going to need up there. But we bought seeds from a lady up there. We bought some kitchenware that was handmade by him. Like he does glass blowing and everything.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, there's like honeys up there. You had all sorts of fruits and vegetables people were selling, cookies, jams, jellies, all that kind of stuff. And everyone can do that. Mm-hmm. They just don't want to.
I think that'd be a better way of life, I think.
Let me ask you something, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say I had a place like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just let people come and live, right? How would you feel if I had the rule if you do not work on something, whether it's gardening, you're helping like maybe make irrigation, new construction for the people coming in, whatever, if you don't work on something, you don't eat. Because to me that seems fair.
Yeah.
But then I'm told by other people that no, you're bringing people in, you have to feed them.
Well, if they're coming in, they got to work, right?
Yeah, because to me it's like, what's the point of bringing all these new people in and they don't add anything to it? And I'm not even saying like they have to do construction or something like that. If their specialty is like doing stand-up comedy, and at the end of the day, maybe during like dinner they do a set or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a musician and they play music for us. To me, that would be considered work as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they're not outside plowing the fields or picking the fruits of their labor and everything, but they are helping, help us all relax and everything like that. To me, that'd still be considered work.
I don't know, I think I'd be 50-50 on the last part about people doing comedy sets and music and stuff.
Really?
I mean, I would pay them, but like I don't know if you what if he's the bombing on the stage?
Well, that's the thing. That nobody's getting paid. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it like for me, it would just be like it'd be a garden that anybody can go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it would just the rule would be please just take what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take everything just because you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like if you need 2 honey jars, you take 2 honey jars. If you need a bag of flour, you take a bag of flour. You know, there's no reason hoarding everything
Mm-hmm.
when we're all working together.
Yeah.
You know, and like if the garden's too far away, you can just go and ask your neighbor, hey, can I have, you got any bacon? I'm craving some bacon today. He's like, yeah, sure. And then, you know, you just get him next time. He needs help moving furniture. You can help him move his furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he needs bacon and you got some bacon, you give him some bacon. You know?
Yeah.
So to me, being paid to do stuff is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because, like, think about somebody who works on, like, a potato farm, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll, you know, pick however many potatoes and fill however many potato bags. But not for their family. For a corporation that's making millions more than that one worker.
Yeah.
When that one worker could take a bag a day home, feed his family forever. I'm not just saying, you know, he can live off potatoes
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. But that would at least subsidize some food, you know?
Yeah.
And if you have one potato farmer and then you have one guy who has cows or something, you trade your cow for the potato. And then you have meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
That's one whole meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And sure, you may not be able to get, you know, Chick-fil-A one day and Burger King and then Domino's and this and that and the other. You might have to eat meat and potatoes for like a week or two because that's what you got.
That's a good meal, though.
But that's what you got.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, you know, people don't want to live in a society where it's like, oh, I have to eat this because it's all we have. They'd rather live in a city, which is one of the worst human creations ever, is a city,
Mm-hmm.
where I can eat Chick-fil-A for breakfast and then go to Starbucks and right before lunch. And then for lunch, I can go to Burger King. And then for dinner, I can have pizza.
That sounds terrible.
That's crazy. There's people that do that. Or not even that. They'll just go to like, you know, fancy restaurants all day long instead of cooking at home.
They got some money.
I find it so much more rewarding to cook at home,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like we just started doing that a month ago or something like that. And it's something I look forward to every single time.
That's those the box meals?
Yeah, it's every plate or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is the other one?
HelloFresh?
HelloFresh. It's like that.
I've always thought about maybe doing those, but...
Well, I don't know if it would work for you because I think you have to pick between 2 servings or 4 servings.
Oh, yeah. There's no one serving.
Well, I guess it could because then you could, you know,
Save a serving?
make it, save it for the next day. It could work for you. Well, it depends on how much you spend on groceries and everything.
Well, I don't spend anything on groceries.
You don't?
No, my dad pays for everything still.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it where you can save money more.
Save money.
You don't save money?
I try to, but I'm back paid on my rent.
So, how do you save?
I save when I can. It's true.
When is when you can? I mean, when does that arise?
Like so far, October 15th, that'll be the first paycheck I'll be able to save.
Okay.
And then from then on, I'll be able to save something after every paycheck.
And then once the school year ends,
Then I won't make any money. Then I'll use up all I saved.
well, can't you get like a small little job during the summer?
I try.
You've tried, and you didn't get any calls back or anything.
No calls back, no emails, no nothing.
Wow. Where did you apply?
Basically, all the big stores out here.
Even the dreadful Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's why I got to get my bachelor's in secondary education.
I thought you already had your bachelor's.
I got a bachelor's in English.
Well, can't you go teach at the school right now then?
Well, I have to get like it's a ARL, alternate route to licensure. I have to get a teacher's license.
Mm-hmm.
I have a substitute teacher's license.
How long does that take?
There's like 4 or 5, 6 or 8 something classes.
That's it?
Something like that. There's like something like you have to take the praxis test. I did most of those. I have to take one more and then.
So your end goal is to become a teacher?
For a time, yeah.
But not right now.
I mean, like as soon as I could, but like I don't want to be a teacher forever.
So what would you want to do past being a teacher?
I mean, I'll do the teacher thing for as long as I can. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, the goal is to make profit off of my art. Either whether it's writing or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, you like drawing, and you're not that bad at drawing, like how you say you are.
I can't draw people or nothing, though.
Look at what Picasso did, though.
But he also knew the fundamentals.
Yeah, the fundamentals of stealing art.
Well, yeah, you have to be able to reproduce.
A good artist makes something revolutionary in art. A great artist steals from others.
I was going to bring my drawings.
You should have.
I'll send pictures on Discord. Most of them are pretty cringe.
Well, what's that one you gave me? I think I have it in the closet there, where it's just like abstract swirls and everything. Mm-hmm. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I draw because that's what I like to draw.
that stuff's cool to me, and you could make a living off of it, especially if you went from like drawing on paper and going to digital and everything, and you started adding color and everything. Mm-hmm. I think you easily could. Maybe not a living off of it.
Yeah.
But extra money never hurts,
Yeah, money's always tight.
So you take 5 or 6 classes in the ARL program, and that's at the college?
Yeah, they got it at the college. The other colleges do them, but I'd probably do it at GBC. Just because I like them.
And does it cost anything?
Yeah, it costs stuff.
Of course it costs something.
Yeah. It's like $300 a class.
That's not too bad.
It's full price.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. You could be paying $1,000 for the one class,
Yeah, then I wouldn't do it.
Like, see, what you could easily do is like do they have them during the summer, those classes?
I think so.
You could get a part-time job during the summer, so your savings wouldn't be depleted all the way through, and then work on that, and then that next school year, boom, you're a teacher.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. Then I'd have health insurance and the whole shebang.
Right, because you don't have any. Isn't that crazy? They can just not give you any benefits whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. I'm out here living like Baloo. The bare necessities.
You think that would be the bare necessities? Eye care, dental care, and health care?
Yeah.
I can't really live with necessities if I'm not alive to have them.
They're thinking of the other necessities. Shelter, food.
I saw this one video and it was like, they were saying something like, no one is alive today. Everyone is just surviving, even though we live in a time where you don't really have to survive, or you shouldn't have to survive.
Yeah, for sure.
And so with that, I agree to an extent, because you have a lot of people that don't want to work whatsoever. And I don't agree with that.
They just don't want to work for someone else.
That makes sense, but you have some people, they don't want to do anything. They're just like, oh, we have enough to grow food for everyone, which we do. Enough shelter for everyone, which we do. And, anybody can pick up a hobby, But all that stuff can be given. I don't think it just should be given, but I don't think you should pay for it either. So I don't know what there's a fine line to it,
Yeah.
Because if you just give everything to somebody, then they just expect it all the time. You take a child and you give them everything they want, and then they hit the real world and they go spiraling out of control.
Where's all this stuff I've usually been given?
I want it now. That's why you have all these Karens nowadays, because they're like, I want it now. Give it to me now.
Sorry. Man.
So what do you want to teach in school then?
I mean, my degree is in English, but I don't know if I want to teach it.
You don't like it enough to teach it?
No, I like it enough to teach it, but it's just a lot of work, and I like me time.
Oh yeah, because you'd have to like assign essays and stuff, and you have to read the essays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
And not only that, but you have to make the lesson plan. You have to do everything.
Well, don't the schools have it now to where you just follow a curriculum?
Well, they make the curriculum, but you still have to make like an outline of what you're going to do for the day.
Oh, okay. So, I know you wouldn't want to do math.
If it's easy math.
So, like, 3rd grade math or something like that?
Or like Algebra 1, as long as it doesn't have graphs in it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you do easy math.
Mm-hmm.
What about science?
I don't, I know a little bit of science, but I'm not like that good with it.
Okay, history?
So, I guess.
You don't like history?
I mean, I like it, but I don't know if I teach it.
Well, why not if you like it? Usually what you like is what you should teach.
I don't like it enough, I don't think.
Okay, so like if there is a niche subject that you would like to teach, what would it be?
Like a super niche subject?
Like me, like I would like to teach just straight philosophy. That would be my thing,
mm-hmm.
Because that's what I'm very interested in.
I mean, I would like to teach English, I guess, but I mean, if it was just like a reading class.
So just teaching kids how to read?
Maybe.
I don't think you need to do secondary education.
Primary education.
Yeah.
I don't know. The little kids are too weird, though.
Are they?
They're just wild. And I'm not like an authoritarian type of guy. I don't like being mean to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like having to put my foot down, you know?
Right. Well, you don't have to. You could always, have fun with the little kids. And, have it to where... Like, kids are a lot smarter than people think.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe in, right? And so if you give a kid respect, for the most part, I feel like they're going to give you respect.
Mm-hmm. For the most part.
Yeah, they're going to have their times where they're, being a kid and not listening.
Or they're just the rebellious type.
Well, that's also like... I believe in the 1%. But the problem is, like we were talking about earlier about how the kids in the high school are and everything.
Yeah.
If you let that fester and everything, it spreads almost like a disease to other kids.
Not only to other kids, but to society.
Well, the kids are society.
Yeah.
They're the next generation that are going to be, working at your Starbucks and Chick-fil-A and everything.
Oh, so a long time ago, right? Or maybe not too long. But you said having a kid is like you think that you're going to live on in him, right? Mm-hmm. So do you think like maybe when you die or whatever, your consciousness will exist inside of your son? Like in a dormant space where you can just see through his eyes or something?
I think in ways, like I don't think I will exist, because I don't know necessarily what happens when we die or anything.
Yeah.
But, maybe lessons that I teach him and everything, he'll be like, oh yeah, my dad told me, when I was like 6 years old about this, that, and the other, or 7 years old, or 12 years old, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And even if he doesn't remember that I taught him it, or whoever taught him it, he may give, his children the same lesson without even realizing it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something about humans that's strange, is that, like, we slowly become our parents in certain ways, But I'm trying to
not be that.
Not be that.
Same. Oh, man.
Well, I think I'm doing a good job, seeing as my dad was in prison. And I haven't been to prison yet. We never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he just in the wrong place at the wrong time or something?
I don't know, honestly. I've been told so many different stories about how it went down and everything that I don't know. And I've never asked him directly because I don't know if it's going to bring up bad memories, and I don't want him... like you talk to somebody and you bring up bad memories to them, it can have them spiral out of control and they wind up right back where they were.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen. I don't think it would, but I don't know if he's ready to talk about that stuff or if he ever will be, because for all I know, he could have done it and he doesn't want to ever relive it.
Mm-hmm.
Or he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time and doesn't want to relive it because it was so traumatic.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've heard another wrong place at the wrong time story not too long ago. But this guy, he went to prison for 22 years. Mm-hmm. And now the court, they're not even going to compensate him for the 22 years they stole off his life.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Usually they get at least like I've heard $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, something like that.
Yeah, I guess the court just said it's too hard to process it. We're not going to do it.
What?
I swear to God.
That's insanity.
Oh, I don't remember where it was. I think it was back east somewhere.
Because there was this one guy, I want to say he was in prison for like 17 years. And they gave him, DNA, more evidence came up with DNA and everything. Mm-hmm. And he got, what's the word, acquitted? Is acquitted the word?
Yeah, I think so, with the glove or whatever.
They basically, dropped all the charges on him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him $3 or $4 million, which,
that's
yeah, sure, it's nice. But what would you rather have? 17 of your life years back or $4 million?
Probably the life years back.
Me personally, I would want the life,
mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's got to suck, just having it being wasted.
Because I think he had kids and stuff too, and they were all grown by the time he got out.
Wow.
Like with my dad, he went in when I was 2.5, 3, somewhere around there. He didn't get out until around my 18th birthday.
Dang.
And at that point, I'm an adult. By law, I'm an adult. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm 16 and I'm like, oh, I'm an adult. Mm-hmm. Legally, I'm an adult. I have to take care of my own stuff now.
Mm-hmm. That's just crazy.
Ain't it?
They're missed. Way too hard on prisoners.
He missed, what? What is that? 15 birthdays?
Mm-hmm.
15 Christmases, 15 New Years.
It's like he came home to strangers.
Well, to be honest with you, me and him, we are strangers. And we're still trying to learn each other.
Dang.
It's a strange relationship, because that is your father.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not my dad, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't there growing up with me.
Yeah, by blood, but not by a soul or whatever, heart.
Yeah. And I feel bad saying that, mm-hmm. but it's the truth.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, this country is great, ain't it?
I think there needs to be just smaller countries, they need to break down the bigger countries,
I don't think America will be America in a decade or so. Mm-hmm. I think it will be broken up into whatever political ideology that state follows. So you have California and Nevada. Mm-hmm. They kind of follow the same route. Mm-hmm. Nevada is slowly behind California in adopting what they have over there, right? Mm-hmm. So I think California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Idaho to an extent, they might become a country. Then you have Texas. Texas could easily become its own country, and then Florida would be its own country. And then you just break it down to Northeast, southern states like Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, mm-hmm. and then you got the Midwest.
Yeah, I think each town should be its own country.
Oh, to that extent.
Yeah.
So, I think that countries and stuff shouldn't exist. Yeah. Even though I want to have my own country. Mm-hmm. Just because it sounds cool,
Yeah.
But, I forget where it's from, but it's there was a researcher that did something you can only remember 500 names. Mm-hmm. And then past that, it's nothing, And that's another problem, I think, with the society we created with all these cities and everything. Mm-hmm. You don't care about the person you're driving next to. Mm-hmm. You don't want to hurt them. Not because you don't want to hurt them, it's because you don't want to pay them for their car and their damage and everything. That's why you don't drive crazy.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, right? Mm-hmm. And then people living in apartment complexes and everything, especially ones that are you have the indoor hallway, so you have a neighbor to either side of you, in front of you, and to the sides of them, right? Mm-hmm. You don't even know your neighbors. You might talk to them, say, hey, good morning, or something like that, but do you really know your neighbor? How many people really know their neighbors?
Nobody.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with the society we've created. No one cares about anybody anymore except their own. And it's like we're all little tribes. But then you have those same people going like, oh, we all have to work together to build a better society.
Yeah, but I don't like you.
But because I believe slightly different than you do, oh, I don't like you, I don't want to work with you. You just said.
We said we should work together. Not anymore.
And it's stupid things, you know, like if I believe in one thing and you believe in one thing, who cares? We could still work together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I don't understand, like, nowadays with the political thing. You have people who won't date outside of their own political ideology.
Jeez.
You know? It's no longer, I won't date outside of my race or anything, which I think is stupid as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not Republican, I won't date you. If you're not Democrat, I won't date you. That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
You're even, you know, your scope was this big and now it's so much smaller.
Yeah. Super echo chambers.
And then it's like, you know, they could be, let's say, both Democratic and they go on a date and then they figure out, oh, they don't agree on this one little thing. I can't date you.
What?
That's insanity to me.
Yeah. That is super crazy.
Like, could you date somebody who had, like, completely different an ideology than you?
Yeah, if I liked them.
Yeah, see? Like, me and Arve, we don't agree on a lot of stuff. But we make it work,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, like I live at home, and my parents, they're Republican, and I don't agree with them, but I don't hate them. I still love them.
I mean, and it's also a thing of, like, they also, like, they want to know what you think, but as soon as you go away from what they think, they don't want to hear it anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
People are, like, super self-absorbed.
Like, I think it's good to have the hard conversations,
Mm-hmm.
you know, about anything. Religion, abortion, transitioning genders,
Mm-hmm.
you know, since those are big topics now. But anything like that. And you know, gun control, building the wall that separates Mexico and the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that, I think we need to talk about that, because the more we talk about it, the more we get to an actual, okay, this is what we should do or
Mm-hmm.
what we shouldn't do.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Like, if any of that, like, I know abortion should be legal. And let's see, the Mexican wall, I don't think it makes a difference. I think it shouldn't exist. I don't think borders in general should exist. It's literally an imaginary line.
It is. I get what you're saying, but to an extent, there has to be borders,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter how good of a society you have, there's always going to be somebody who doesn't have it as good as you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as long as that exists, they will want what you have, and they will try and take it from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's say you have a neighbor who isn't doing as well and everything. And let's say all your neighbors are like that down your entire street, but you're the only neighbor that does as well. What are the chances your house is going to get broken into?
10 out of 10.
I mean, come on. Because you're going to have stuff they want. And that's all it really is. That's the only reason we have borders,
Mm-hmm.
is because people create this, like, I have it, you don't, haha.
So what would they want, I think?
Well, I mean, nowadays it's, you know, unless you're homeless or you don't make enough money, like you only make enough money to have shelter,
Mm-hmm.
there's food. But for the most part, I'd say, you know, people break into houses for technology, steal cars, you know, little frivolous things that they'd like to have but don't have.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, you got to think, it used to be food. You didn't have food, you didn't live.
Yeah.
You know, you can live without a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. I mean, like the border, though.
What do you mean?
What would they want? Just to come in?
Who, Mexico?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, the whole reason of the wall is to, you know, quote unquote, keep Mexicans out because they're stealing quote unquote American jobs. Even though most, you know, the jobs are sent to China
Mm-hmm.
and they pay them 11 cents an hour, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get the whole border wall thing. To me, it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's just money into a wall to make Trump look good, I guess.
make jobs. Quotation marks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it did make some jobs, but once it's built, where do those jobs go?
Nowhere.
They die. The jobs die. They're
Mhm.
gone. Unless they go to, build another wall over Canada?
Did they build it?
At the Canadian border?
No, the Mexican one?
They're still building it as far as I know.
Dang, I didn't even know they were building it.
Yeah, no, it's happening. There's like
Jeez.
pictures of it and everything.
Dang.
And it's funny, right? Because you see the pictures and you have, pickup trucks on this side and stuff, and then they'll have like I don't know what it's called, but it's a crane. Yeah, a crane. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. That'll bring down the pieces of the walls. And they'll have that on both sides of the border. And I'm assuming everyone working on that is an American.
Yeah.
So what are you doing on the Mexico side? Building the wall. I don't know.
Yeah, the world doesn't make any sense.
And it's not supposed to. That's the great thing about it. Nothing has to make sense.
It'd be nice if it made sense every once in a while.
I mean, it does every once in a while, doesn't it? Maybe not in the big scheme of everything when it comes to politics and everything like that, but in your every normal day life, it does, right?
Sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
I mean, it makes sense of what I'm doing, but does it make sense to me? I don't know.
I mean, what about it doesn't make sense?
I don't know, like... It's like, I don't know. What do I want? Where do I want to go?
Well, what do you want out of life?
To make a living off my art. No, but see, I want to live beyond that, though.
Well, like, live beyond it in what sense?
Like, I want to make my art because I want to make my art, not because I want to live off of it.
Right, you want to be creative.
Yeah.
To me, when somebody says stuff like that, I want to be creative. To me, they're saying, I want to be human. Because to me, that's what humans are.
Yeah.
We live to be creative. Because when you do a job that is the same thing over and over and over again, you will eventually wind up resenting it.
Yeah.
Unless you somehow keep it fresh for yourself. Like me, when I used to work at Walmart, I used to like time myself. I know it sounds stupid, but I would time myself sometimes to see how fast I could get done with things. And I kept it fresh. And, I would listen to podcasts and everything while I was working, and that kept things fresh. But if you did I don't understand how people do like office jobs where they sit in a cubicle all day long. And the only time they see somebody is like at the water fountain or something.
Yeah.
Or, they go get coffee or something. Like, that's insanity to me. Like, you're just staring at a screen all day long. And that's your job.
That's why suicide happens. I swear.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. That is why suicide happens. They sit here and tell you you're supposed to be able to do, 8 hours, 5 days a week, staring at a screen inside a cubicle where you get like minimal human interaction. And that's supposed to be normal. And then when you kill yourself because you live that life, you're crazy.
Yeah. Why do you do that?
Because to me, you're supposed to be constantly creative. Or not, I shouldn't say constantly. But, you should be creating stuff in your mind at least all the time, I think. And then maybe putting it down on paper or computer or a canvas every now and again. Just to keep your mind moving. Because I really don't know how people do that. Like, they live in New York City, bumper to bumper traffic, having to take subways and everything, and then they go work a cubicle job. I really don't understand how.
Yeah. I don't know how anybody works any like mundane job.
Well, you used to.
Yeah, I don't know how I made it.
Pushing carts and everything at what? Albertsons, Smith's,
Smith's and Walmart.
So you used to do it.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
How did you do it? I mean,
I would just do the work. Count the seconds.
you would count the seconds for real?
Not for real, but most of the time it was just waiting. It was like waiting to be alive.
Well, that's like how I felt in school and everything. Once you got out of school, you like actually get to live a little.
And now we're outside school.
Well, like, school is legitimately made, in my opinion, to get kids ready to work for the big corporations. And they know it. You know, that's why they keep defunding schools and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they get less and less and less each year. So that way they know how to work on less of a budget when they go to a corporation.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to work with these kind of standards? Well, you should be used to it. You've been doing it for, how long are you in school? 12 years?
Yeah, at least. Unless you go to college.
Well, college is a whole nother thing. I think any education, I think I told you this before, any education that is not free
Mm-hmm.
isn't worth it. If it's free, it's totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got to pay free education, it is not at all worth it.
But the K through 12, right? That's free.
It is free. But the thing is like, because the teachers are constantly defunded and they're not paid a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they're having to have, 40 kids to a class,
Mm-hmm.
you can only do so much.
Yeah, that's impossible.
Even the teacher who cares the most about the students and doesn't care how much they get paid, they're there to teach. They can only do so much with 40 kids a classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in high school, you're a high school teacher, you have 40 kids in the classroom for 7 periods,
Mm-hmm. Or 4.
Yeah.
An hour and a half? That's too long.
That's crazy. When I went to do the campus monitor position thingy, that was insane to me. I was so confused.
Mm-hmm. The other periods are so long. Just trying to fill in the empty time with stuff on the lesson plan.
Like, how do you do that? Because, like, you can only do so much, and then that's all you got,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And it's super hard because all the kids have the Chromebooks
Mm-hmm.
and all the work's on there. It's like, oh, you finished it? Mm-hmm. And you can't see if they did it wrong. Like,
That you can't see it. What do you mean you can't see it? You can't, like...
I mean, you could tell them to go back and like they could have just breezed through it real quick
Mm-hmm.
and got a score on it. And it's like, oh,
So they could do their work in, like, the first 5 minutes of class, and they'd just be done and have an hour and 25 minutes left of class
mm-hmm.
where they're just sitting there.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Computers and school don't mix.
Well, it depends. It depends. If it's like a computer class
Mm-hmm.
and you're actually doing something and learning. But I agree. That's kind of crazy to me that every kid's got a computer. Because I remember when I was in school, you'd actually have to look up at the teacher at the front of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're just, staring at the computer screen while you're talking?
Yeah, or they're trying to watch Netflix or whatever.
They can get to Netflix on those computers?
The smart ones can't. No, there's workarounds, but like they have to know some code or something. I don't know.
I think I know what you're talking about, because I remember when we used to try and get on YouTube when we go to the computer labs and everything, and you had to put like a semicolon or something like that somewhere in the URL, and it would take you right to YouTube or something.
It's crazy. I don't know.
Kids have it worse off now than we did,
For sure.
And I'm like,
All the brain damage.
yeah, pretty much. Because like when I was doing the campus monitor thing, one of the kids had to write the lady an apology letter.
Mm-hmm.
He could barely spell. His handwriting looked atrocious. Like, I mean, it was genuinely just large chicken scratch.
Yeah.
And so, like, she was showing me it, like, telling me sometimes they have to do this kind of stuff and everything. And I couldn't read it. I could not read it. I had no idea what it said.
Mm-hmm.
I could read his name at the bottom. I think it was, like, Brian or something.
Oh, man.
But they're going to have it so bad. So bad. Like, we thought we had it bad.
The next generation is going to be...
I can only imagine my son's generation. I think he's Generation Alpha. I think that's what they call it.
Man.
So, like, your Generation
Millennial?
Y,
Yeah.
I think. But they call it Millennial now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Gen Z. Then you have...
Yasuke's generation?
Well, see, I don't know if he's a part of... Let's see. Let's see, what generation is 2020? Because he was born in 21. So, yeah, Generation Alpha is the part he's in. So he gets to go around saying, I'm an alpha.
I feel bad for the next generation.
Bunch of betas. So what's C then?
Kappa?
Kappa?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
that was K.
Is it?
I'm not sure. Let's see. That's Greek lettering, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Greek alphabet. So you have, let's see. What's this picture say? You have alpha, beta, gamma. They got them gamma rays. Delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa. What in the world? Lambda?
Lambda?
Lambda? Lambda?
Yeah. I've heard that somewhere. Like a research facility or something. From a movie.
I think it is, yeah. Mu, Nu, Z, Xi, or G, maybe. Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigma, Tau. I hope I'm saying these right.
Yeah, this sounds right.
Upsilon, Phi, Chi, Psi, and Omega.
Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.
So what's going to happen once they go through all those? What's the next one they're going to use? Are they going to use like a Chinese alphabet or something like that, you think?
Maybe. You think we'll be around that long?
Oh, absolutely not. I will be long. I'll probably die in the Pi generation.
No, not us as you and me, but as people as a whole.
Oh, society as a whole. Probably, but we'll probably be on a different planet. I don't think we'll be on Earth much longer as a society. Because, I mean, they're already looking for other planets we can go habitate. You know?
Yeah, but all that are super far away, right?
I'm not sure. I can look it up. Because, like, I remember reading, I don't remember what they call the planet, but there was a planet that is Earth-like. I'm not sure how Earth-like it is.
We go there, it's totally not like Earth.
It's just like Mars, just a complete desert. They found ice on Mars. You know that?
Yeah, I heard about that a long time ago.
Okay, let's see. So, in terms of size, I don't know. That's not what I want. The first thing that popped up is in terms of size, average density, mass, and surface gravity, Venus is very similar to Earth.
I don't think so.
But Kepler-452b. It is the first potentially rocky super-Earth planet discovered orbiting within the habitable zone of a very sun-like star. Oh wait, let's click into more because there's another sentence that says, however... where'd it go? Both based... Oh no, I can't find it. Well, dang, why would you put the however and not have it as the first sentence? Okay, let's see. It is located about 1,800 light years away.
That's a long time.
From Earth. Oh, no, wait. That's from Earth in the constellation of Cygnus. All they have is an artist's interpretation of what Kepler looks like.
What does it look like?
It's a tiny little picture. It's barely even a planet on this picture. They look like they drew Earth and then put fog on top of it. That's crazy, though. What's Cygnus?
I don't know what that is.
It says constellation Cygnus. Cygnus is a northern constellation on the plane of the Milky Way, deriving its name from a Latinized Greek word for swan.
You ever think magic was real at a time?
Well, that goes back to the mythology thing that we were talking about, where Zeus is the god of what? Lightning. I want to say thunder every single time.
It's the same thing.
Is it? It's not.
Thunder's the sound, lightning's the...
But is he the god of both?
I think people say thunder, but they mean lightning.
Okay. But I think it comes in the same thing as that. So, could magic have existed at some point in time? Possibly, and it just, dwindled out of existence. Same thing with mythology. Maybe Zeus was a magician, and he just had, thunder and lightning magic. Mm-hmm. He just makes shock waves or something.
Yeah. Well, what about the ancient astronaut theory, where people thought the old gods were aliens?
Oh, that's possible. But, what is the theory exactly?
I don't know. I think it's just like aliens were here before us or something. I don't know the whole shebang.
Let's see. Old astronaut theory.
The ancient astronaut.
Ancient astronaut theory.
They talk about it on Ancient Aliens all the time.
Ancient astronauts or ancient aliens. Refers to the pseudoscientific hypothesis which holds that intelligent extraterrestrial beings visited Earth and made contact with humans in antiquity and prehistoric times. So basically cavemen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you believe that's possible?
I think it's possible. If it's true, I don't know.
Like, in your heart of hearts, do you believe it's true?
I mean, I believe in evolution, so I believe the caveman could have evolved, but I think the aliens could maybe accelerated our evolution.
Well, isn't that what they think happened to in ancient Egypt?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like, they came down and the aliens gave them technology to build the pyramids and everything like that.
Yeah, I think so. That's I think is a working.
I think that's another theory alongside this one. But I think it's very possible that magic or some form of magic existed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's like, is it the magic that we think of? You know, with maybe like wizards and stuff. You know, like Harry Potter and stuff. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
But it may be like telekinesis or something like that. It's possible, or maybe they, you know, like breeded with humans, and maybe the only reason we don't have magic today is because, you know,
don't have enough alien DNA
or something like that. Maybe, you know, because like they say, what is it? The one blood type is like an alien blood type.
Oh, is that the one that's applicable to all or whatever?
I want to say it is. It's like O, or something.
That's the universal one, I think.
Let's see, alien blood type. Ancient aliens, alien blood types is the first thing that came up. Oh, jeez. Rh negative blood is an alien. So Rh negative?
I've never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of gold blood?
I've never heard of gold blood either.
That was an interesting thing, because I think that is the one that can be given to anybody. Gold blood type. So, one of the world's rarest blood types is one named Rh null. This blood type is distinct from Rh negative since it has none of the Rh antigens at all. There are less than 50 people who have this blood type.
Wow, those are the aliens.
I mean, they could be, yeah.
That's crazy.
Let's see, what are the 3 rarest blood types? Is one thing that came up. So,
O is one of them.
Not according to this thing.
What are they?
So it doesn't. So this Rh null, right, that I just read, where only 50 people have it in existence that they know of, is not even on this list.
Oh, jeez.
It says the 3 rarest blood types are B negative, which is found in 1.5% of the total population, a B negative, which is found in 0.6% of total population, a B positive, which is found in 3.4% of the population. But Rh null is like 0.000001 of the population. That's not considered a rare blood type. Isn't there also like a theory like all the presidents have like the same blood type or something?
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
I think I remember talking to somebody about it, and I don't remember if we looked it up or not, but it was, it's one of those things like, it's interesting if it's true.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do know there's like a theory that some people believe that, so the monarchy of like Queen Elizabeth and all that, some people believe that all the United States presidents are directly related to them.
Yeah?
Yeah, even Barack Obama.
Dang. I don't know if it's a theory or a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's a theory that all the presidents were in a part of a secret club.
Oh, isn't that like where they worship an owl?
Oh, like I was thinking of but that's one. But I was thinking of the other one. It's like Skull and Bones or something like that. Or
I haven't heard of the Skull and Bones one.
I think that there's a movie on it. I don't know. But the one you're thinking of is where they worship Moloch or whatever. The owl god.
Yeah, at Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
So let's see. With the exception of John F. Kennedy, Martin Van Buren, and perhaps Dwight D. Eisenhower, Every president has ancestors from Great Britain.
Oh, wow.
Kennedy was of pure Irish descent, Van Buren was of Dutch lineage, and Eisenhower was of German and Swiss heritage.
Wow.
So I guess you could get, like, their family trees and go all the way back. That's crazy.
All the way back to England.
Let's see, are all 45 U.S. presidents related to each other? The remarkable discovery was made by 12-year-old... Oh, geez. Bridge Ann Avedon of Salinas, California, who created a groundbreaking family tree that connected 42 of 43 U.S. presidents to one common and rather unexpected ancestor, King John of England.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow is right.
That's amazing.
I wonder what the one president was that wasn't.
I don't know.
I'm going to click further and see. Because the picture shows Barack Obama, but I don't want to say it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Because for all I know, he could come from
King John.
King John himself. King John, also known as John Lackland, is renowned for signing the Magna Carta in 1215. Man, we're going everywhere. History, philosophy. Oh, come on, just tell me who the one guy is.
Impossible.
Watch, I'm gonna have to pay to find out. Okay, let's see. The only former commander-in-chief not linked to King John is the 8th president, Martin Van Buren, who had Dutch roots.
Wow.
So the teen also found out that she is the 18th cousin of President Obama. Wow. She even wrote her newfound relative a letter to share her findings with him. Well, good for her.
Mm-hmm.
So Martin Van Buren is the only one. That's insane.
That must have been a good year. No.
Well, this is only saying 43 presidents, and we're at 46 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance that it's changed.
Yeah.
Because there was... Or no, we're at 45?
No, I think we're at 46.
Because it was Obama,
Mm-hmm.
Trump, Biden.
Yeah.
So 46, yeah. No.
Right?
Oh, now I'm confused.
I thought Trump was 45.
I thought he was 45 too, but this is of 43 presidents and it has Obama in it.
Maybe Biden's 45?
I gotta look it up now. This is bad.
I didn't know either.
We're supposed to be good Americans here, and we don't even know. Okay, so, come on, give me their number. Don't just tell me the list. Have there been 45 or 46 U.S. presidents? Since the office was established in 1789, 45 men have served in 46 presidencies. Huh?
Someone must have served 2 terms.
No, I think there was one guy who he served a term, lost, and then served again. So I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Perfect. One with the numbers next to it. Okay, so...
Remember when you were a kid and you had the ruler with all the presidents on it?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
I thought everyone had those. It would have all the presidents on it and had their faces and their numbers on it.
That would be pretty hard to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Because we've only added... Well, when did you have that ruler?
In elementary school, George Bush was on it.
Okay, so George Bush was the last one. He was 41, so we've only added 5 more presidents.
That wouldn't be too hard. It was a thick ruler. Just add another one.
Who is? Oh, never mind. I was about to say something really stupid. I was about to say, who is William J. Clinton? That's big old Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Getting his hands all dirty.
You know.
So George Bush was the 43rd president. Barack was 44, Trump was 45, and now Biden is 46.
So we were right.
Yeah.
We just doubted ourselves.
That's what I do on tests. I always doubt myself on tests. When I know I shouldn't. I should do better. You remember, this is going to be a little bit of a throwback for us. But you remember being in school and then you get like a substitute teacher and you'd hope for a certain substitute teacher?
I never hoped for a certain one, but I would always be like, yeah, okay, I got a sub today.
You remember Mr. Wick?
Yeah, I remember him.
I don't remember where he was from, or, because I think he was from Europe somewhere, and then he came to the United States when he was younger, and then eventually became a substitute teacher. But I remember when we were in elementary school one time, we were lined up against this brick wall waiting for turns to like play a game or something, and he was telling us like when to go and everything, and somebody started talking about like presidents or something. One of the kids was talking to him, and he's like, George Washington wasn't the first United States president.
Oh, I've heard him say that.
It was something, and I can't remember who he said it was.
I can't remember who he said it was either.
And I wish I could remember, because now, being older, I'm interested in that kind of stuff, and I would like to look up who that guy was.
Yeah, I remember he told me that. He told our class that in high school. I don't remember who he said it was either.
I wonder if I can find it.
First actual U.S.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to type in.
I still see him sometimes.
He's still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was dead.
And I saw him like a month ago or something.
Like at the school, still working, or
he wasn't working, but he goes there. Like he doesn't sub classes, I'm sure.
Oh, so he doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, he just goes there, I guess.
So yeah, this just says George Washington is the first thing that pops up. But let's see, this one says who was technically the first president. John Hanson.
Is that what we said? I don't know.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
If you see him again,
yeah,
please ask him.
I will.
Please. Because I want to know so badly. I wish I could remember. The John Hanson story. Oh, okay. When we think of President of the United States, many people do not realize that we are actually referring to presidents elected under the U.S. Constitution. Everybody knows that the first president in that sense was George Washington. But in fact, the Articles of Confederation, the predecessor to the Constitution, also called for a president, albeit one with greatly diminished powers. 8 men who were appointed to serve 1-year terms as president under the Articles of Confederation. In November 1781, John Hanson became the first president of the United States in Congress assembled under the Articles of Confederation. So this must be the guy. Unless he says something totally...
yeah, off the wall.
Yeah, like it was Genghis Khan was the first United States president.
Technically, every man is like 1/3 Genghis Khan or something. You heard that, right?
Well, yeah, because they can find the... I forget what it is. It's like a gene or
the Genghis gene,
part of the DNA strand, where it's like it's not defective. What is the word? It starts with a D. It's like, let me see if I can find it.
Deformed?
Not deformed. Let me see if I can spell Genghis Khan right. No, I didn't spell it right.
Is there an H?
There's no H, and I put an H. I put an H in Khan and Genghis.
There's an H in Khan.
Yeah, there's an H in Khan, but there's not one in Genghis.
I wasn't sure about Genghis either. I wasn't sure if it was G and G or GH and G.
His real name is, well, as far as we know, is Temujin, if I believe. Gene.
That must be crazy living back then and just being one of the guys. I want to conquer so much land. Like Alexander the Great or...
Yeah. Well, they were probably just like, well, we need more land. We have all these people, we must have land.
Let's conquer it all.
Yeah. Let's see. Since a 2003 study found evidence that Genghis Khan's DNA is present in about 16 million men alive today. The Mongolian ruler's genetic prowess has stood as an unparalleled accomplishment, but he isn't the only man whose reproductive activities still show a significant genetic impact centuries later. That's something that I'm very curious about, right? So you have guys like Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and everything. They want to live forever, right? This is how you live forever, yeah. Right here.
He's in our genes.
like I have, some Asian in me, right? There's a chance I do have a part of Genghis Khan's DNA. Do I know if it's there or not? I don't know. I'm sure they could find it. But I thought there was something like wrong with his DNA.
I don't know.
Let's see.
You played the Assassin's Creed games, right?
I've played a few of them.
Wouldn't that be cool if you could like access your genes and live out past memories of your ancestors?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, you got to think. So like, because I'm mixed, right? If I went back and did like the white side of my family, it'd probably be all cookies and cream. But I do the other side of the family, and it may not be so good.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. His descent is West Asian and Europe was documented through the 14th century in texts written by Rashid al-Din Hamadani and other Muslim historians with the advent of genealogical DNA testing. Well, that doesn't tell me. Okay, I'm just going to have to Google what's wrong with Genghis Khan's DNA.
It's everywhere.
Oh my god. So I typed in what's wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and the first thing that pops up on Google is what's wrong with me. Yeah, no, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's nothing wrong with his DNA because nothing's coming up.
Or maybe they're covering it up. No.
Yeah, maybe it's a whole theory about that as well. Can you imagine, though, being like Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great and just taking over all these large swaths of land?
That's crazy.
And you just own it all. That's all yours. You can do whatever you want in it.
They could have shaped history so different.
But they didn't.
And wonder why.
Do you ever think that you're going to leave a legacy behind? Or you think, like, my life will just end and that's it?
I mean, I'll leave like a legacy for my family. For the world, I don't know. Probably not.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Because, like, I think, you know, of, like, Martin Luther King Jr. is, like, a very American thing, right?
Yeah.
Or I should say person, not thing. And he had a very large part to do with, like, black people in America eventually getting rights and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He'll leave a legacy, but will it be as great as Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and all them? And why are their legacies so great and others aren't? You know?
Yeah, that's weird.
Because, like, it's not like we don't have different writings from different old societies. Because we do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just they're not as well known as those. What makes those so prominent? Is it because people want to do the same thing as them?
Maybe they just want to be remembered like them.
But why would they remember it in the first place?
Because of what they did.
But is it really that? Is it really that's all it's cracked up to be? Oh, I just conquered all this land and I, had a bunch of kids.
Well, they think that only an extraordinary person could accomplish such a feat. And then partially they're right.
Are they?
Yeah, it takes a special somebody to pull off a feat like that.
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's,
I mean, it's harder today than it was back then.
I mean, of course, because, like, if I try to, take over my neighbor's yard, I'm going to get the cops called on me and probably shot to death.
Yeah.
But, like, back then, I think it's just right person, right time.
Mm-hmm. So that people want to learn how to be that right person at the right time.
Well, nowadays, I don't think it's possible.
I don't think so either.
Unless you're, like, in the position of, like, Joe Biden or I don't even know other leaders. Justin Trudeau, he's Canada.
Prime Minister, yeah.
Zelensky, Putin, of course. Like, Putin, for sure, he could easily, he could be in the history books forever if he did something crazy.
He probably will be.
Well, I mean, he will be, but he'll be known as a guy who lost to a smaller country.
Yeah.
Like, look how big Russia is and how big Ukraine is. Mm-hmm. And Ukraine is whooping their butts.
Yeah.
They don't even stand a chance right now. And they're talking about ending the war. Russia is talking about ending the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we got to end this war. It's too much. Because I think their banks are still closed in Russia.
Oh, wow.
So nobody can get rubles.
So they're screwed.
I mean, I'm not sure about that. I can look it up real quick. But I think in Turkey, their banks have been closed down for like 3 days.
Jeez.
I think. And nobody's been able to get money out of the bank.
It's like the Great Depression.
I think that's what we're heading towards. Is another, but this time on a world scale. Like, only the rich will survive.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. Or if you know how to grow food. That's one reason why I'm learning to grow food. Mm-hmm. I like it. I do enjoy it. Like, it is an actual hobby of mine. Mm-hmm. But I'm also worried about what's going to happen in the next few years. Because, like, the United States government, they could just take whatever land they want at any point in time. Mm-hmm. We have a very thin facade of freedom, yeah. I feel.
I feel it too.
What was I going to Google? You remember?
Russia or something? War?
Oh yeah, the Russian banks.
Oh, that's what it was, banks.
But yeah, I don't see America being America in a decade, and I don't see the world being the same in a decade because of how fast everything is moving. Technology is on like, when you hit like a loop-de-loop in a roller coaster and then it goes up and you're like slowing down and the anticipation is just like on a 10 and then you drop down and it hits a 15. I think we're going to hit a 15 pretty soon.
Yeah. It's like I don't know if you listen to any of the Terrence McKenna lectures. Have you heard any of those?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, there's this one where he says, this was back in like the 90s or something, but he said that the rich are going to live in basically pleasure domes, just giant kingdoms for themselves. And it's going to come down to where like normal people like you and me are going to have to start asking them for some of their stuff.
Well, that is what it's coming down to. Because if you look at it, it's the rich that own, apartment complexes and everything. Mm-hmm. Amazon owns, what is that food company?
Whole Foods?
They own Whole Foods. So not only are they feeding you, they're giving you stuff for all your hobbies, and they have evil vacuums tracing your entire house.
Yeah, drawn diagrams.
They're going to own everything soon enough. Mm-hmm. Because normal people, like me and you, we can't own anything. Like, technically, this house I don't own. I'm paying off a bank.
Yeah.
To, it's crazy.
And it's a crime to be homeless.
It is a crime. It legitimately is a crime. You can't even sleep in your car now without getting harassed. Mm-hmm. I saw this one video where this guy was just sleeping in his car, and the cops came up to him and was like, yeah, you just need to leave. You need to get out of town.
Jeez.
I don't care if you're tired. Get out of town. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Where's the empathy,
It doesn't exist when there's power to gain.
Power over that one guy in his car?
Well, think about it. If you don't really have power over your life, right? Because a lot of us don't. Mm-hmm. If you can have power over just someone, it makes you feel better. Mm-hmm. Or I guess it makes you feel better. Because I don't know. I don't have power over any. I mean, the only person I have power over is my 9-month-old son. And I wouldn't really call that power.
Yeah.
Because he pretty much runs this house. Mm-hmm. He starts crying. It's either because he's hungry, dirty diaper, or something. Mm-hmm. So he's really the boss.
That's like that old saying, what you own owns you.
And in what way does it mean? Like,
so like, you own, like quotation marks, you don't own him, but like he's your son. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have like some ownership over him for the time being as a baby. But like, when he cries, you have to answer him because, you're responsible for him.
Oh, I see what you mean. And it could be the same thing with like a car.
Yeah.
The engine stops working. Oh, the car's telling me something's wrong.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Mm-hmm.
So you can't actually own anything unless it has ownership over you too.
Huh. So what about like creativity stuff?
Yeah, because like you have to be invested in it.
Right, but like when you're trying to do like, let's say creative writing, for example, and you're trying to make like a fantasy world or something like that. Mm-hmm. Are you saying like that would own you as well? Yeah. Because it's constantly on your mind and bugging you?
Maybe not bugging you, but like you have to be invested in it. You have to build it. You have to be part of it.
I see. Okay. So, will you bow down to your Amazon overlords?
No. I'll live in the woods.
But what if there are no more woods because they cut down all the trees?
You gotta breathe.
Well, that's the thing. They'll just have oxygen factories, and then they'll sell you your oxygen.
I would kill myself.
It's crazy to me that people... Like, I know I used to do it before we got the reverse osmosis and everything. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to be drinking metal water.
Yeah.
So I would go buy water bottles. But it's crazy to me that people will just constantly buy water bottles instead of just installing a reverse osmosis or a filter or something. Mm-hmm. And I understand there's some places you can't do it. Mm-hmm. Like in Flint, Michigan, where their water catches on fire.
Don't drink the water.
Like that I completely understand. But if you can just put a filter, like most of the people out here have wells, right? Mm-hmm. Just put a filter on it. Sure, it's not the best water in the world, and it's not completely purified, but it's better than drinking bottled water. Mm-hmm. Whoever came up with bottled water is an evil genius.
Yeah. Gonna destroy the world with one bottle of water at a time.
And the next is gonna be you're gonna have to like, they'll have like a little face mask that goes over it, and it'll look like this cup that I'm holding. And you just click like a thing, and it goes, and that's your air for the day.
Like Spaceballs.
Yeah.
What do you think it's moral to have a kid?
Yes and no. Because, like, I know for a fact that the world is not going to get better. Mm-hmm. Like, it might be good for a period of time. Kind of like how, I think it's the 1960s were for people. And of course, not everyone. But for some people, it was good.
For the revolution? The revolution part? Or
like, because, like, the 1960s, that's when it was, like, freedom to love whoever you want and what, all that stuff. And we're kind of, getting to a period like that again. But I feel like there's going to be a huge war coming soon. So in that aspect of, like, I don't think the world is going to be a very good place in the coming years. So is it fair to bring a child into this world? In that case, no. But it's up to you as the parent to show why this world is still good. Even though everything around you is burning. You have to find that peace, that solace at the end of the day. I think, at least.
Yeah.
Not everyone thinks like me.
I don't know if there's any solace to be found. No, I think there is some, but...
So you're telling me when you sit down and read a book, it's not peaceful?
Sometimes.
See, right there, that's peace. It's not peace for everyone, but you can't worry about everyone all the time.
Yeah.
But if it's peaceful for you, then that's perfect, And if your peace is taking a drive down the road, it's peace, You don't get it often. You take it when you can.
Well, what about too much peace? Is that a thing?
Well, too much of anything is bad.
Yeah.
You drink too much water and you drown. But, like, too much peace, like, I don't know what the downside to too much peace would be.
I don't think there is any.
Because I don't think it's ever existed.
Yeah.
So we don't know the downfalls of it. Like, too much depression leads to suicide. Too much peace or happiness, what does that lead to? I don't know if that leads to anything.
Nothing, I don't think.
You don't think so? You don't
Too
think
much.
there's a downside to too much happiness?
Just exhaustion.
Oh man, I'm so tired.
So happy, but I'm tired.
Okay, do you think Jeff Bezos is happy all the time? Or do you think he still struggles with things, even though he has this amount of wealth that people will never see in their lifetimes?
I think he probably still struggles with happiness.
You think so?
It's probably he could satisfy himself with material wealth and goods or whatever, but and he could have fake friends.
You don't think he has any real friends?
I think he has real friends, but
see, I don't think anybody who's like that rich has real friends.
Yeah, because they want something from him.
Yeah, like unless it's like someone he grew up with that he's still friends with, then at that point that's a real friendship, I think. But like if he's just a bunch of business execs and everything, they only hang out with each other because they prop each other up with money.
Yeah,
I
think if he gave back money, he'd have a lot of friends.
Well, I think if he did, like if he did something actually useful for society instead of building stupid penis-shaped rocket ships and going barely into space, like build a library or
something cool.
Build a art center.
Something free. Something that the poor people can access.
Well, that's the thing. They don't want you to access anything. They want you to keep buying their stuff so that they gain more power over you. So eventually they can just own everything.
They just want slaves.
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what they want.
Jeez.
And the laws that we have that don't make us slaves are slowly dwindling.
Yeah.
Like labor laws and everything. They're trying to make unions not a thing, which is crazy. It's crazy to me that you can work with somebody and you're like, yeah, I don't want to join a union. Like, I get it. You got to pay to be in the union and everything.
Yeah, but you get so many benefits.
Yeah, like job security. I hate when people say, like, I used to work with people and they would leave dirt on the floor instead of cleaning it right. And they're like, that's job security. Like, what is that? That's not job security. It's always going to be dirty.
Yeah.
You cannot have cleanliness without dirtiness. You will always have job security as long as you do a good job. Or like when people would smoke and then throw their the cigarette butt on the ground and be like, that's job security. For you. That's job security.
Man, people are just weird.
I got so mad one day when I used to work at Walmart. So I'm sweeping the floor like I normally do, right? Just my normal routine, and it's the beginning of the night. First hour of the night, right? And this was the time, I believe we were still 24 hours at the time. There were people at the registers and everything, and there was a guy who was holding like a bouquet of roses.
Yeah.
Right? And it was him, and I'm assuming wife or girlfriend or something. And they looked so just genuinely happy. And then the dude starts plucking like some leaves off of the roses and everything, and then just delicately throws them on the floor in front of me.
Job security.
He didn't even say anything. He did not say a thing. And I was just looking at the floor like, do you think this is a joke?
It ain't funny.
Like, I now have to, like, I had to sweep there anyway, you know? But come on, man, there's a trash can right next to you. Yeah. Or, you know, just leave the leaves on.
People are just weird, man.
Like, I honestly could not believe that he did that. It was craziness to me. Like, what goes through your mind, like, to make you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe nothing.
It's another NPC. We're back in the Matrix and everything.
It's like nowadays where there's like this new thing in the schools or whatever, where kids are trying to smoke in the classroom.
Man, that's been a thing. I remember being in high school, and my friend, he would hide his little pen thingy in his sleeve, and he'd go, hold it, and then he'd blow it back into his jacket so you couldn't see it.
It's so annoying.
It is annoying.
Because they think they're all sly, but like,
I don't think they think they're sly. I think they think they're cool.
Cool?
Yeah.
You
don't think so?
I don't think that's cool.
You don't think it's cool, but they think it's cool because it's an adult thing, and because they're kids, they want to do adult things
in secret in front of an adult. It's so stupid.
Well, guess what? Kids and adults are stupid and smart at the same time. Guess what? Life doesn't make sense.
Oh, man.
So, like, if you had a kid and he started smoking, let's say around freshman year age, so what, that's 13? 13, 14?
Yeah, 13, 14.
What would you do?
Man, I don't know. I'd be mad.
Like, you would be genuinely angry.
Yeah, because he's not doing something right.
Well, who's to say it's right?
Well, I think he should at least wait till he's, I don't know, 18, I guess.
Right, but my thing is, like, who's to say it's right for someone to smoke or not?
The parents.
In that situation, yeah. But do you think cigarettes should become illegal?
No, I don't think they should be illegal.
So that means they should allow marijuana to be legal.
Sure.
Across the board, the whole United States federally.
Yeah, I guess.
So that means they should allow all drugs to be legal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. It's just I know some people, they'll draw a line. You know, like if it's a hard drug like meth or cocaine, that's where they draw a line.
I think people should have access to everything, but if it's like super hard, then maybe they should be monitored while they're on it or something.
Here's the thing. For people that are already addicted to that kind of stuff, they should just, I say, fully legalize it. Because the people who are going to kill themselves doing those drugs probably were going to do it anyway. You know, because the rate of people who get off those kind of hard drugs is so low that you might as well just let them go for it. And then there's, you have people who do like cocaine and they do it like once a week. Or they just do it to get like through their job or something. Those people, sure, yeah, if they want to do cocaine, it's their life. Who am I to say? I don't think there should be laws against stuff like that.
Yeah, those are just dumb ones.
Like, I understand there's certain laws in place, like you stop at the stop sign, so that way people don't hurt and get killed, That makes sense to me. But if someone wants to kill themselves on meth, who am I to stop them? Why should I stop them? I mean, maybe morality comes into play there, where it's like, well, you should care for your fellow human.
And we care for them.
I care for them, but the thing is like, you can only care to an extent, because if you care too much, then you get, too into it, and then when they do that, die, you're like, oh, my whole world is...
I think it's like you said, they were going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Just make it easier for them.
I was looking into, like, what is it called, the DEA,
Drug Enforcement Agency.
And they have it to where, because you know how certain Native Americans, they're allowed to do rituals with psychedelics and everything. The DEA has it to where you can submit a form for your religious right to use psychedelics or other drugs. But you have to, actually lay out what that religious practice is and everything. The shitty part is there's no guarantee that they will allow you to do it.
Dang.
So you could have like a genuine religion with the use of psychedelics, just like Native Americans do with like ayahuasca. I know certain tribes use it, right? You can have a legitimate one, and then you get nothing. Like I said, I would love to have my own like studio and everything, because I'm sure there's echoes. I hear it a little. So like soundproof everything. That'd be nice.
Oh, have you ever been in a sensory deprivation tank?
No.
You should.
Have you?
I've been in one.
Really? Mm-hmm. How was that?
I didn't feel any different. No, but I think it's because I was expecting something.
Oh, I think you're supposed to just go in there and just like float.
Yeah.
And not think. And just let everything... It's kind of like shrooms, you just let it come over you.
Yeah. I was expecting something though, but...
You were probably like overthinking it and everything, and then when you got in there, you were disappointed that it wasn't something right away.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, well, this was great. So where'd you do it at?
There's a place in Vegas. I don't remember the name of it. But it was next to a movie theater.
So did you go watch a movie afterwards?
No, before.
Oh, speaking of movies, we're going to see Woman King.
Oh, yeah?
On the 25th, I think. I think it comes out on the 20th or something like that. But we're going to go see that. It looks interesting.
I saw the trailer. It looked pretty good.
It's based off a true story, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's all. I always like stories that are based on true stuff. I hope they do it justice. And I hate when they say based off a true story and then they, like, mess up everything.
Yeah.
And they change everything. Like, I was watching this one news article about how they had a, what do they call it? True crime, like, documentary, right? And so they interviewed, so a mother died, right?
Yeah.
And a lady killed her, I think. If I remember right, it was a lady that killed her. And her daughter did an interview for the documentary of the murder and everything. And so she basically did the interview because they thought they were going to, show the true story and everything and all that kind of stuff. What they wound up doing is, it's either a movie or a documentary. I can't remember. I think it might be a movie where an actress plays the murderer or something. I think it's Renee Zellweger. Is that her name?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I think she plays the murderer in it. And in the movie, the murderer consoles the daughter when that never happened in real life. So to me, that's strange that they would like change that. Let me see if I can find the name of the documentary and movie. How do you spell
Rene?
Zellweger? They're right there. There we go.
LL, right?
Zellweger. So let's see. 2022, The Thing About Pam. I think that's the one.
Oh, it's new.
Oh yeah, it's brand new. Oh, it's a TV show? Because this is one season.
Dang.
But yeah, they have like a scene where the murderer consoles the daughter and everything that never happened in real life. And it's like, why would you paint this murderer to be a
hero?
Yeah, like, well, not a hero, but like, what is the word?
Sympathetic?
Yeah, sympathetic. Like, that's just strange to me.
Yeah. It's like no one's allowed to be evil in Hollywood or something. You know, in Hollywood storytelling, it's like you're not allowed to make a bad guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I remember, because you remember the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and all of that when that happened.
Yeah.
There was like videos cropping up of like people saying in interviews, like saying, if Harvey Weinstein asks you to go back to his place, don't.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because no one ever said anything back then. They all knew. Everyone knew, but no one said anything. It took him
a long time.
How many years has he been doing it,
His whole career, probably.
It's insane. And Bill Cosby, that one hit me hard because I used to love watching The Cosby Show.
Yeah. Man. Icons.
It's like no one in Hollywood's good anymore.
I'm pretty sure there's some good ones, but...
Well, there's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
I hear he's pretty good. Robin Williams was, but now he's
gone.
He's been gone, what, 5 years now?
Something like that.
It's crazy.
Depression.
That's another thing with time. It's like... So me and... did you ever watch, like, the old Nickelodeon game shows?
Some of them, not too
like,
often.
Like Guts, Double Dare. I think Guts was Nickelodeon. You ever watch any of those?
I think if I watched them, I don't remember the names.
Oh, okay. Well, me and Arve, we were watching a show called Finders Keepers. It was in the 80s, I think is when it was filmed. I think the episode we watched was like 1988. Man, that was some nostalgia watching that.
Yeah.
It looks so crappy on the television, too.
Yeah.
You could count the pixels and everything.
Good times.
What is, like, one nostalgia thing that you love going back to? But you don't go back to it too often, so it doesn't... You know what I mean? Because you don't want it to lose its luster.
Yeah, it's nostalgic touch. That's kind of hard.
Is it?
I like going back to those nostalgic things, like all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I think that means you're living in the past, man.
I mean, I find new things that I like about them, too.
Like about the old things or new things?
About both.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to think still.
Well, what is just one thing you go back to?
One thing I usually go back to is just like old movies, like Forrest Gump. Yeah.
I never understood why people like Forrest Gump.
Oh my god. I've watched Forrest Gump so many times my sister refuses to watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She'll walk out of the room and Forrest Gump's on. It's a good movie.
Is it? I don't really.
It's a
care
classic.
For it. I don't understand it. I don't get I don't get what it's trying to say.
It's Tom Hanks.
Well, I know it's Tom Hanks.
He's just, he's a slow guy, but he's able to make it.
I guess. I mean,
yeah.
It was ahead of its time. I'll give it that.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you have Elon Musk. I think he's considered. I think he's autistic, right?
I think so.
He's on the spectrum, at least. He might not be low functioning. He's high functioning autistic.
I know my brother tells me all that stuff.
Oh, he does?
Mm-hmm. About famous autistic people.
Oh, well, it's something to look up to for him,
Mm-hmm.
Something to aspire to.
Yeah. I think he just likes what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, playing video games.
Living the life, living the dream.
Man.
I wouldn't want to do that, though.
Not me either. I like to have a goal or something to try to,
Well, what's the goal right now?
The goal for this year, try to get a short story published in a magazine.
That's it.
That's
the
it.
only one.
That's the only goal.
If you go on to, there's a subreddit for, like fantasy world building. They have a magazine that they put out. It's a digital magazine, but it's still a magazine. You can see if you can get published in that.
Yeah, I'll see.
But you want like big time magazine?
Yeah,
or it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. As long as it's published and I get paid for it, that'd be nice.
So why don't you start your own magazine?
Start my own magazine.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Just start like a writer's magazine. Have articles on how to write or how different people write. and then you can have like examples and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
So what is the big goal right now? Not like a this year goal, but like 5 years from now goal or 10 years from now goal.
5 years or 10 years from now, probably would have a book published.
Okay, yeah. Like actually published or self-published? Or does it matter?
Maybe in like the 5 years it won't matter, but the 10 years probably like published.
Okay. So you actually want to be picked up by a publishing company and they do everything for you, basically.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
So by 10 years, I should expect a book from you.
Hopefully. You know what they say about plans, though?
Always changing.
Yeah. You know the best plan is no plan.
I don't know about that one. In some situations, yeah.
You know, I feel like all plans just fall apart.
Well, maybe it's because not to say anything bad against you, but maybe it's the way you plan them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to become a better planner, you know?
Yeah.
Because like even some of my plans, they fall apart. They just crumble right in front of me, and then I have to sit there and, you know, not try not to cry about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't cry about it. It's kind of like just going with the flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't make a plan, nothing can go wrong.
Well, you can make a plan and go with the flow. So like you can have a plan and then, you know, stick to it, but then once it changes because, you know, something that's out of your control, then you have to try and go with the flow and stick to the plan. And if that's not possible, then you just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty important to try the plan at least, but it is what it is.
So what do you think? We'll call it here?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, we can call it here.
Okay.
It sounds good to you?
Yeah, I think it sounds all right.
Any final words?
No.
any like philosophical thing you can say to anybody listening? Help them up, prop them up in their life?
Just keep on trying. I guess, I don't know.
Keep on trying. All right.
Do your best.
So you want to do this again sometime?
Yeah, I'll be down to do it again sometime.
So next time, I want to get like the I Ching.
Oh yeah, and try it,
and then we can do that.
Ask a
on
question.
The podcast. Yeah.
Okay, and I'll write down my ideas so I'm not so brain dead.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Man, I had so many ideas, but they all just vanished.
Well, next time you can bring like I know you said you had like a dream journal, drawings. Bring anything you want, anything at all.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna call it here.
All right.